Hello, Internet. The E3 2013 extravaganza, Aimless podcast style. I'm Ticketmaster, joined by...
Traptical?
Team 12.
Traptical was not able to join myself and RPG when we gave our gut reactions of the Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo conferences and events. So we'll get his take on that, as well as Gamer12, who's here to join us and give his take as well. And then hopefully by the time we hit the third-party stuff, which me and RPG didn't get to talk about because he hadn't seen it at the time, which was EA and Ubisoft, we can talk about that and then wrap it up with what we've seen from live shows or stuff throughout the day on E3 Day 1 and 2. To be like, alright, what came out of the left field out of nowhere I didn't expect... Yada, 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 our usual thing, because I haven't looked it up. It's like whatever, top 3, whatever, big surprise, whatever. And then that'll be the wrap-up at the end. And that's that. So we're going to get started with Traptical on his rundown on the Microsoft, or Gamer 12, and Traptical's rundown on the Microsoft E3 press event.
Sure. Well, first of all, Gamer, what did they impress you?
The legendary 13.
15. The legendary 15.
So did they show all their 15? Did they show all their cards?
No.
I don't remember. Because it was a hodgepodge of multi-platform games and, like, their games and, like, which is which.
Yeah, I don't think they did, because, like, they started off with Mugshot 5, and I was like, this is multi-platform. So I was like, it's cool to see it, but I was like, I'm going to on PS4. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, so what I was saying before the conference was that there is nothing that they can show that will bring them back from how far that they've gone down in sort of public opinion.
And I agree.
Yeah, they did in my eyes, I know. The quality, even though it was just a cutscene, I was so disappointed, but the fidelity of the models in Quantum Break is spectacular. Like, the facial expressions, they almost look like they're CG, but they're not. It's all done in real time, as they say. Man, that was just unbelievable. And then, like...
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the game? Oh, Rise, Son of Rome. It looked fantastic, but the gameplay is super shallow. So it's like,
yeah, I know.
You have these, like... It's like this balance thing Crytek was doing or something. Like, just make this look really good, but make it really shallow, because it was a Kinect game at first, so it seems like what they did was they just superimposed a button press instead of doing a motion. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, this is like fantastic looking, but why would you want to buy this? It's just mindless. It was beautiful though.
So, well, you know, I sort of felt that too, but then on the other hand, it felt like Microsoft was benefiting because it was kind of like the first time anyone was seeing next-gen games.
Yeah.
You know, we saw Killzone and Infamous back, you know, in February, and, you know, Killzone it's always hard to tell now, because they did do that thing with Killzone 2. And Infamous, you know, it was clearly sort of like a cinematic scene, and so... You know, no one was thinking, oh, wow, that's what the next-gen games look like. They're just like, well, these are sort of the vision of these next-gen games. And so when we got to Microsoft and they were actually showing gameplay, then...
Sort of.
Yeah, like, I feel like it worked in their favor that they went first, because, like, look at this. This is what the Xbox One can do.
Yeah.
And, you know, the implication is, like, only the Xbox One can do these kind of graphics, but we didn't really know yet at that point. But in your mind, you know, it's the first one you see is like, oh my gosh, Xbox One, when, you know, chances are PS4, you know, the new NVIDIA graphics cards all can do that.
Yeah. That's true. Well, they kept on, and then, like, they kept on spouting that cloud bullshit. Like, there was that thing where, Forza uses, it uploads
Drivatar.
It uploads your Drivatar, which is basically, when you play, remember there's like some Tekken games, they have the ghost data?
Yeah.
That's exactly the same concept. It's like, why does Tekken use it for free, and Drivatars, they get uploaded to this magical cloud that you have to pay for? Or, I don't know how they didn't say anything about that, did they? how would someone without gold, would they still have access to the cloud?
That's the thing. Like, they haven't said.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like you don't get access. Like, I think now every Xbox will require gold, possibly.
Yes. Oh my god. But yeah, that was the thing. It's like, this is why you need to buy your system, because of this bullshit cloud. Because you want to play against your friends who are offline. Because you want to drive against AI characters who behave like human people. So that's kind of weird. Because what if one of your friends is a maniac and he drives left and right all over the place?
Exactly.
So you're gonna look at it. You're gonna look at the AI character, man. He's just like, dude is going crazy. I don't know. This is weird. It's sort of like that mode, that AI mode, whatever. It reminds me of like a B-spec mode.
Yep.
Where you're not even you're telling the driver what to do, and he like remembers over time, like, oh, I should slow down on this turn, blah blah blah. But it's like, that was free on GT5. Like, I don't understand the benefits of this cloud. Then like they showed, they partnered with Twitch. Okay, they had to go exclusive because they want to go EA on everyone's ass. Like, we have to buy the biggest gaming streaming site so that we get the lockdown and everything. So why? It's like, why not just, instead of just using Twitch, have the person choose where they want to stream it to? I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Microsoft's pattern, isn't it? I mean, they offer these things as a benefit, actually, to the customer, but then the customer turns around and is like, no, we want choice. Internet Explorer was like that.
I mean, don't get me... Oh, my God. Wait, what were we talking about? Sorry. I don't want to get off.
We're talking about Rise,
okay.
And he transitioned into the cloud.
No, they showed next-gen visuals, which is great because PC has been hampered by console visuals for quite some time. Because all that PC done so far was brute force all the console games to look better. Yep. And they look great, 60 frames per second, 1080p, whatever. But now that these next-gen consoles are 1080p, 60 frames per second, they could actually benefit PC graphics cards or PC rigs could actually benefit from
higher standards.
Higher standards, yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So that's nice.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to add on the Drivatar thing. It seems weird to me because even if your friends are really good at driving, are there many people out there who would, be able to look at how an AR car or how another car is moving around and say, oh, that's Tekken driving there. I think even if it works perfectly, it doesn't really make sense to me as a why would I want this?
Yeah. Well, I think they want to make driving on the side of, because remember when you're like in Gran Turismo 5, I mean, when AI cars drive, they all drive in a straight line, following the line they're on.
Oh yeah.
So it's nice to have a human element, like, oh, this dude drifted a little bit too far, so I cut him as this corner, like as I reach this corner. So it'll be nice to see some sort of like,
or they actually like react to you when you're driving aggressively and stuff, or defensively.
Yeah, exactly. So that's nice. That's nice. But wouldn't it be, I don't know, better to make an AI that does that rather than just record some user's actions and then just say, oh, this is AI? Much more forward advancing in, the AI field, whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I guess this would be easier because the main advantage of the cloud, which is really just the internet, is virtually unlimited storage.
Yeah.
So if you can store, like if chess was not a game that you could solve, or, well, I mean, it is a game you could solve. If you could have a hard drive big enough to contain all of the possible permutations of chess, that would be a really good chess-playing AI. And so I guess it would be something like that. They record millions upon millions of people playing, and then that computer that stores all this, which is the cloud, would be really good at playing this game, or really good at emulating how other people that play this game. So maybe.
And that's one of the reasons why they try to justify the cloud. It's like when you're not playing, you're offline. The game will check. The system will check every 24 hours, right? During that check, like when you like for example, like PS Plus, at a certain time it'll download crap for you.
Mm-hmm.
For Xbox One Cloud, what it's gonna do, it's gonna download all the data for all your games that support this cloud, and like download the user data from your friends or whatever. So when you play and your friend is offline, you get to see his data. It doesn't download. I don't think they said it downloads when you play the game. It downloads like what do you call it? Background downloading. So they say that's one of the benefits, of having this always online. Not always online, but have this once a day check, so that it can download all these things for you, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of, man, just the crazy things that people have been saying about the cloud is like, it's not magic. The cloud is a bunch of computers somewhere else on the internet. And they, like you could offload some stuff, but you can't offload, like physics or, very few things you could actually offload. So I don't, what was their claim? The 40 times more powerful than the 360
God.
with the cloud? Like, that is, that's not true. Or theoretically, maybe it is true if we have awesome Google Fiber internet, which still isn't going to be as fast as being on the metal, on the board. It's kind of crazy.
Like, the only instance I've used the cloud was when I go to Google, and it's like, download all attachments, and then it zips it up for me. So it's zipping it up for me in the cloud. That's the only instance I've ever seen the cloud in action. It's like, I don't know what it could do visually different in this landscape. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I could understand, like, MMOs, that's a cloud-based thing where there's some games that stream the level as you play. That's cloud-based, but it's like it's only streaming what you need. So I don't know.
I mean, they're just the definition of cloud. I don't think it's just so broad. I mean, if you look at like SOCOM matchmaking, that's actually cloud computing too. Your PS2 isn't doing it. Someone else's PS2 isn't doing it. There's a server somewhere that is like, okay, these are the people we should match together, and then it matches them together. So that's technically cloud computing. I guess the most famous one would be like SETI or folding. Those are cloud computing, but that's probably not.
Is it? It's taking.
Technically, it's taking not virtual machines, but remote machines, using them to calculate stuff, and then they send back data, and then you have that data and you combine it here locally.
True.
So, yeah, I don't know.
The only thing that's a positive out of all this, at least they're adding stuff to their freaking subscription fee per year. Because I was just thinking about 360 Xbox Live. It's like, what am I getting?
Yeah,
that's true.
For my $60 online play, and that's about it. Oh no, wait. They have online play, and you could check your messages online. Because I'm a silver member now, so I was like Xbox.com. I was like, oh, you have messages. And when I click on them, it's like, oh, you can only access them on your 360. That makes no sense. I have to pay $60 to see message, but yeah. But it's like at least they're adding. I don't know if it's real value, but they're adding some value to their $6 a year.
Yeah, that's true. Like, that's one of the. I guess we just get to it now because it relates to what Sony is doing now. So apparently, on the PS4, PlayStation Plus is required for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's some free-to-play games that won't require.
Right. So like, free-to-play is still free-to-play. Netflix is still free for Netflix subscribers, and all that stuff is still free. It's just that
which makes
multiplayer
sense.
it does make sense. But, multiplayer is now part of the PlayStation Plus bundle. And Man, I've just been thinking about this a lot. Like, so we also heard from Microsoft that they're now starting to give away 2 free games a month starting July to Xbox Live Gold members.
Man, I laughed. when that happened.
Well, it was interesting. Like, actually, that one's we don't know too much about that yet. Is it gonna be like PlayStation Plus, where you have to continue to be a Gold subscriber?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, I don't think you're gonna keep your stuff like if your subscription lapses. Probably,
yeah, like
we'll see.
I don't know how that's gonna go, but the PlayStation Plus thing, I've just been going over it in my mind over and over because sort of on a fundamental level, it feels wrong.
I agree.
Microsoft did it because they could. Because no one else had anything like it, and they were just like, "Oh, hey, we are a console with online play, and if you want to access that, it was really like an access fee. You want to access that, you have to pay us money, and then we will let you play online." And that's sort of where it grew out of, and it became this thing where it's a lot like cable subscriptions almost, where a lot of people say you just play Call of Duty, you want to play online. And they look at it as like, oh yeah, you want to play online, pay us $60 a year, and in addition to the thing that you want to do, here are all these things that you may or may not want. Like we don't care. So it's kind of like if I had to buy cable just to watch The Walking Dead. It's like, oh, now I have 120 channels, but I only care about AMC. Kind of the same thing. With PlayStation Plus though, they went the opposite way, where they built this service is like, oh, check this out. Free games, discounts, early demos, beta access, just all these things that gamers want. And then, after they had built that up, they said, hey, so now you get online multiplayer with this. And anyone else who wants online multiplayer, they also have to buy this thing. So on the one hand, it feels like the cable deal again, where it's like, if I just want to play Call of Duty online and I don't really care about all these free games, I still have to buy all of them. I'm still paying for all of them, even though I'm never going to use any of them. But on the other hand, it also feels better in a way, because it's like they have built it around what they suspect people want. It's like, oh, you play games? Like, here are some free games. If you just, pay us this money here. Here's all this other stuff that you get because you like games, right? You like games. So then it makes sense. And yet it's also very infuriating because there's just people that are out there like, I don't care about free games, Yes, Deus Ex. Oh, man, I get that free. Yes, this, what else?
XCOM, Uncharted 3.
Yeah, like, I get all these games, but I'm never going to play any of them. I only have time to play Call of Duty. I only have time to play Madden.
Yeah.
Or I only want to play Call of Duty or Madden.
You already have all the games they've
Or you could be super hardcore like us and just have all the games already.
Well, I still add them to my download list just to keep it in case,
I do too. I do too.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a Sony loyalist, but I do like that they came up front and said, pay for this burden, and we will give you lots of good shit, lots of good content. Rather than Xbox Live, you ask them, what am I paying for? They don't say anything. They're just like, oh, you're paying for online. Why? What is the difference between using the same internet pipe for my PC games?
Exactly.
What's the difference between Xbox Live? What's the difference? At least this one's like, they're saying, okay, we built a service. It's very expensive. Just give us, what? Is it still 50? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's still 50.
Yeah, so
But
far.
I think it was like underhanded the way they unveiled it, because they didn't come out and say it's just on like a PowerPoint at the very bottom. Like, cause I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, that's a multiplayer.
Well, like he did say it, but it was like it was kind of overshadowed by what was going on at the time.
I know he couldn't say it because like he had got all this applause from like, we're not going to be like Microsoft, and then it's like, oh,
he said it felt like he said it kind of quickly. Like he sort of paused with each of the benefits, and everyone's like, yeah, and then that one just sort of went by, and people were still going, yeah. And it was like, wait, what?
And merciful gaming.
I mean, to be fair, like I think they are adding value. Like, yeah, what Gamer was saying, in interviews that I've seen afterwards, they're talking about like, so essentially we are, on the PS3 and the Vita, we wanted to make it free. So all of our decisions were around making it free. How do we make it free? How do we cut costs to make it free? And now with the PlayStation 4, their goal is to make the best dedicated gaming network out there. And so, that's a 180. It's like, okay, now, to make it the best, that's going to cost money. So they can't talk about how are we going to cut costs and like how are we going to make it free? How are we going to make it free? It's like, how do we make it good? How do we make it good? And so, I think what their challenge is going to be is to convince people that this is something that you want to pay for. And, that there is going to be value. Like, you're not just paying for access. You're paying for, first of all, access, but you're also getting, like their social features, their the share thing. All of that is, like, going to be built into this network.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
You're pretty much you're a premium member in this ecosystem. So rather than okay, go ahead.
The one thing I will give them is that at least Plus subscriptions are lower than Xbox Live subscriptions. So at least they have that.
Well, Microsoft used to be 50, but for some stupid reason they increased it to 60. It's like, what's a $10 increase for?
See, like, I really think that's tied to sort of it's the cable deal analogy, but more so. Whereas cable is expensive mostly because of live sports programming. So when you pay, $100 a month for, I think it's like 60 to 80 channels in my area, most of that money is going to ESPN or like Fox Sports. Yeah. Like the sports networks are the ones that cost a lot, and the rest of them, not really so much. So, everyone who doesn't watch sports but gets cable is essentially subsidizing the network so that they can get those sports networks. And I think Xbox Live, it feels like it's the same thing, because that year was the year when they started really getting like ESPN 3 and like UFC and just all that stuff. Whereas, because most of their other things are like, it's Netflix. Like, why would it cost money to use Netflix on this box when all these other boxes just have the Netflix subscription? Mm-hmm. Doesn't make any sense. And yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, like, to me it's going to be extremely interesting to see, like, if there is, like, a mass exodus to either, like, PC gaming or Wii U, just because, like, those are, like, the two... Well, Wii U specifically...
No freaking way.
Yeah, probably not, because they don't have the games, but, like, if they did, and, like, you could still play free online, it's like... But now that the freaking, like, line is drawn, it's like your only other option is, like, to go play on PC if you don't want to go pay for these services to play online on console, which is kind of effed up.
Yeah. It kind of sucks, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Xbox Live, there was a while, I think, where they did make a good argument for why you want Xbox Live, at least public perception-wise. Like, people think that Xbox Live is worth it because, and it was weird, like, one guy actually came up to me and said, I will gladly pay to play on a closed system, because then there's no hackers, and there's no all this, and just like all
I used to think like that, but then it's like, as more I played, I was like, oh, well, there's no drugs here, so doesn't solve the problem.
It's just like, they wanted to move out of the Wild West and get into their gated community where it's all, happy and pristine lawns and whatnot. And so for a while, I was like, yeah, that's what everyone thought. And then, I think as PlayStation Plus sort of awareness blossomed, more and more people were using that. It's like, this is actually not that different. This is kind of the same as Xbox Live. And then the question is like, well, why are we paying for Xbox Live? And sort of their value proposition just started going down. And I think that's kind of why we have the new the free games thing being announced this year. And then,
so is that only on 360, or will that be on Xbox One as well?
They only said 360 so far.
Yeah, they said starting in July, as part of a new initiative, we're giving 2 free games a month to Xbox Live Gold members. So it's anyone's guess. I think they would prefer not to give Xbox One games. It seems like Sony would prefer not to give PS4 games too, but they kind of have to. Like, that's their value proposition. And so, when they said it, it wasn't Drive Club that you're getting in the first month. It's Drive Club PlayStation Plus Edition, which later clarified as being sort of a not limited functionality, but like some functionality is not in that version.
I'm guessing less cars. That's what I'm guessing.
That would make sense.
Have the full feature set, but maybe less cars.
Yeah.
What's the other thing in the game that you do?
Cars, tracks, and sharing.
Oh, can they? Is it possible they could limit the tracks? 'Cause that would be kind of weird.
It's hard to say. I mean, I think the
yeah.
car thing makes sense.
Yeah.
Tracks, people don't like that as much. They're okay with not having all the cars, but once you start, like Tiger Woods got huge backlash on that. It was like, oh, we don't get all the courses, and so yeah, that doesn't work quite as well.
Well, if they go the free to play route, where here's the base game, like what Tekken's doing, or what Killer Instinct is doing, where we'll give you the game and a character, but everything else is paid, but it's free. I don't know. Just it's weird.
Yeah, that'd be a free to play model where it's like you get this parts of the game is free, you can play all of the content in it, but you're not going to get every piece of content.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's a smart move with Drive Club. And looking at the 4 that they announced, Drive Club is becoming less and less special as part of the launch lineup, because you got
It also doesn't help that it comes out the same year as Gran Turismo 6.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 6, which
still looks amazing.
The crew looks really next gen sounding. Need for Speed Rivals seems to be closest to how Drive Club is, but less sim looking. So like racing, I think is going to be hard to compete.
Yeah, there's too many racers. What the hell?
Yeah, suddenly it's like, oh, now we want to race cars again. Okay. I mean, I guess it is the beginning of a generation, so
yeah.
Usually that's what happens. But I think it's smart that this is that one. I think you'll get Drive Club in front of more people, and
that's the thing. That was one of the guys I listened to was like, I think this is good because it puts a community in Drive Club, because there would never be a community if there's just if this was just released on PS4 like standalone. Like, no one's gonna buy it because there's GT6. There's all this competition. But now it's free. There's gonna be a huge community depending on how many PS4s get sold. So
yeah, which is looking like a lot right now. So
and
that's kind of cool.
The best thing about PS Plus is that it pays for itself. Like $50. I get so many discounts. It adds up. So I don't even care paying for it.
To me, it's like that announcement irked me, but since I'm already a subscriber and like will continue to be one, I was on the opposite side of the fence, like as opposed to like the live issue. I was like, I'm not paying for that. So it's like, but then like I love my PlayStation Plus, so it's like I even have like a YouTube video like I make every week. It's like PlayStation Plus is so awesome. So it's like, well, I don't really care because PlayStation Plus is awesome. So
that was basically my reaction for myself. It was just like, well, it sucks, but on the other hand, I was gonna get PlayStation Plus anyway, so this is like kind of an added perk that I already had. But then, it went to the people that I play with who aren't really sort of core gamers anymore, and they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna lose all these people, even though they were interested in PS4, and I was like, oh, but online play costs money, and they're just like, well,
on that end, I think like they might. Like, that might help sell the PS3, because like, you can still play online for free, so it's like...
Yeah.
Or at least the software side, anyway.
I mean, I was totally forgetting people on PlayStation Plus. Like, if anyone asked, or even if they didn't ask, I was just like, yeah, PlayStation Plus is really good, and, I would love for you to see more of what there is in gaming. And with this, you pay for a year, and you get to see a ton of different stuff. But, it's just, I will leave it to Sony from now on to convince those people of the value.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I'm not going to play Defense Force here, but I like my PlayStation Plus, but I'm not about to try to convince anybody, so...
I mean, yeah, basically. Rest of Xbox, in case it was not abundantly clear, I don't think that they showed anything that was suddenly, oh my gosh, I have to have this system. And
Yeah, gamer. What about that?
I
Oh,
kind of
you guys are gonna be so wrong. There's gonna be at least one thing. Nope.
there was not one thing.
Art in the wind, gone.
I kind of expected maybe they would sort of purchase an exclusive, and I think Titanfall is that game.
I agree.
But
there's also Dead Rising 3, but I was like, well, that one came to PS3 or PC eventually.
For Dead? No, I don't think so. It's a Microsoft-produced game.
I'm gonna wait on this. It's like after the Mass Effect incident.
No, this was Microsoft built. Like, they built the studio to make Dead Rising 3.
I didn't
say
that.
Really?
They're not just producing it.
I thought that was Capcom Montreal. That's what they.
Well, in that case, I can live without Dead Rising 3.
I might be misinforming people.
The team that they put together was the Black Tusk.
Which is so disappointing.
I think that could have been their game, but then they teased it. So it's like,
I know.
What the?
They showed nothing. It was a logo. It was like a teaser and like no game. It's just Tusk Studios. I was like, what the f?
It was like a Splinter Cell looking thing. And that's about it. It's like, something to look forward to next E3.
I guess the thing is, like, there was rumors a few months back saying that Microsoft, they delayed their Xbox One reveal because the games aren't where they want them to be yet. And then, when it was May, part of it, I think it was because, the games weren't where they wanted to be yet, and so they decided, okay, we'll just do the whole TV thing right now, and we'll do games at E3. And, our fans will understand. We'll tell them, wait for E3. And, the fans were totally on board. It's like, all you people ripping on Xbox One? No, they told us to wait until E3, so I'm going to wait until E3. And then we got to E3, and it was still kind of like, what's this? Oh, it's Halo. But is that the game? I mean, what is this footage? Like, what's this? Oh, it's like Splinter Cell. Like,
to me, that was so disappointing, that Halo, because I thought it was like something else. And then it's like, Master Chief. And I completely lost interest. It's just like down the tubes. I was like, it's Halo. Well, I no longer care about this trailer.
So. Like, whatever happened to their strategy, Doc? We're going to support 360 with Halo for the next 3 Halo games.
Yeah.
Is that down the drain already?
It might be CrossGen.
Why would you... I'm sorry, current-gen people. It's like, why would you want to buy the current-gen version of a game that looks... and probably plays better because due to a higher frame rate and fidelity? Man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is going to be sort of the crutch that you're talking about with PC gaming. Now we're just going to get brute force 360 and PS3 games on PS4 and Xbox One because... Well, we gotta support Xbox 360.
Tropical, you are correct. It's being developed by Capcom Vancouver, who was Blue Castle Games.
Ah, right, Vancouver's. And it was Canada.
Yeah, they're just publishing it, so it could be in PC like a year later or something.
The thing about that game,
even then, the tone of the game, it's like, it's serious. It's dark. And then you're using guns. Like, that's not Dead Rising.
Yeah, like on the one hand, the tone is not Dead Rising, as you said. And the other thing is, if you're going to go for serious tone, the bar now is the last.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it going to be like that? Or is it going to be all flippant and you're just running around with serious-looking weapons instead of crazy-looking weapons and still somehow chopping your way through tens of thousands of zombies?
Or from what I've heard, like, Save the Cades is like, fantastic. Like, it's open world, permadeath, like that type of tension in a game. Like, if you're going the sort of the somewhat goofy looking weapons, like he attached a sledgehammer to a saw, then he threw it at a zombie. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Yep.
I mean, it is nice that they have a ton of zombies on screen, the frame rate going to crap.
That was cool, yeah.
And I think they say it's open world-ish?
Yeah, it was like no loading.
No loading.
They wanted like a bigger open world than they've ever done.
So next gen, no loading. Nice. That's like one of the things on my list of next. No loading between houses or locations. That's cool.
Wow, that's awesome for you because that seemed to be sort of the goals of next gen. Yeah, it's just like, oh, no more loading. In fact,
no more loading
the
between
on
modes.
automatic, instantly.
This guy reminds me of what's this racing game? Need for Speed.
Rivals.
No, the one that came last year. Almost Wanted, where you just like click on multiplayer. Like there's no loading between like multiplayer mode. You have to load it to a different screen, whatever.
Yeah.
Like in Call of Duty, it's separated. It's like this time, all the modes are coming into like this one game. Doesn't matter where you're in. But man, I don't know. Microsoft. What was the other stuff?
Well, I mean, they showed Crimson Dragon.
Oh, that was disappointing.
Gamepad
the no sound thing. Oh
yeah.
But that was a game. That was a game they shoehorned into the Xbox One.
Yeah, again, sort of like Rise. Like those two games felt like, oh yeah, I can see where they used to be Kinect games, because Rise is apparently really scripted, and the way that we saw combat happening is like, yeah, that seems kind of like what you would do with a Kinect game. And then Crimson Dragon, kind of the same. It's like, yeah, this is sort of like Child of Eden, which was like this kind of game. They showed something called D4 briefly.
Yeah.
Is that the murder mystery one? Episodic?
Nobody knows if it's related to the D series, so like Enemy Zero, D2. They don't know if it's related.
Huh.
It is being done by Swery, who did Deadly Premonition.
Yep.
So,
Well, yeah, it's just we don't really know anything about it. They showed
Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah, man, that part.
God damn it!
It was very confusing to me. It was like, who is this gonna make happy?
No, and then my question in the back of my head is like, are they just gonna fuse this up again? It's like, we'll show you a cartoony version, and like later on, it's like this darker tone, serious looking game. Because it looks fun. It looks fun. Like, this is what I wanted from Overstrike, looking fun.
Mm.
Are they going to do the same exact thing? And then it's exclusive, so...
Yeah. Well, see, that was the weird part. It's like, some people are saying, oh, no, it's not exclusive, it's Insomniac. So like, but it says Microsoft is publishing it. It's like, oh, really? And then, oh, it is. Like, And, yeah, to me, it's like, this move makes no sense. I mean, Fuse kind of made sense, being multi-platform. Because, the people who have loved Insomniac have always been on PlayStation. And the people who have hated Insomniac whenever they made a good game were the people on Xbox. Because, well, not so much on the first Xbox, but on the 360 it's like, oh, Resistance! And, for PlayStation fan, Resistance! And then Xbox fans, that one sucks. And then it's like, oh, Ratchet and Clank! Like, whatever. Go play your cartoons, you little children. And then... So it's like, who is this for? Are they trying to... It felt to me as like, again, Microsoft going with their strategy is like, we want what you have. And on the first one, it was, oh man, they have all these third parties. Okay, 360, we're getting third parties, yes. And then, now on Xbox One, it seems like, yeah, we're gonna do first parties just like Sony did, and we're gonna get their second party. Ha ha!
Wait, did they show?
We're gonna get Metal Gear Solid 5 on our stage.
Yeah, they showed Killer Instinct. Right? Oh wait, no.
Killer Instinct is being done by Double Helix.
Oh, okay. Forza 5.
Oh, Forza.
Wait, really? Killer Instinct is not rare?
No, it's not rare. Out of all the waiting, it's like it's still not being done rare. What's the point? Then there was
a game earlier.
I thought that was a really bad choice. It's like fighting games are a niche market, so.
Then it seems like they're bringing back the exact characters. Like, who cares? Like, do something else. Like, bring other characters into the fray.
And it's free to play. You have to buy the characters, which is weird. Let's see. Besides that,
as I said, first party. But then what was great about the Microsoft conference? No Kinect games. I mean, there was like one that's Spark game, but that was like a Little Big Planet sort of rip-off.
It was funny because they were standing there like, We want people to take things and make them their own with, what was it? Play, build, and share. And I was just like, wow, the irony of what you just said there.
Man.
Okay, but it's not the type of game I would be playing.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, like, watching, I was like, who is this for? Because it's like, there's no real context for why you're just making a giant sandbox game with
Well, it's for, like,
goblins.
mini creators.
kids?
No, not for kids, but it's, like, for people who like to create stuff in games. Like League of the Planet people.
Yeah, the previews I've seen, yeah, it is a lot like Little Big Planet, where it's like, oh, the creation part is really cool and simple, but I'm not sure I want to play any of the things that are made off of it. So it's just sort of, it's like the terraforming part of SimCity.
Yeah.
Which SimCity doesn't have anymore, so maybe that's why. But actually,
Yeah,
I want to go back to the Killer Instinct part. Did you guys get weirded out by the trash talking?
Yeah.
I did not. You
Really?
Man, it's like, where's the rape joke? I have no idea.
I didn't get weirded out. It was just that, like, when he said it, I was like, did he just say that? And I was like, oh man. And then like, people started laughing. I was like, oh, that was
No, I'm hearing a different thing, like, from other people. I'm hearing he's getting a beat down on the girl, and she has to take it because it's almost over soon. That's my thinking. But then you have these feminists. Oh, it's a rape joke. What?
Well, no.
I mean, I understand that, Garen, but like the context, like you can like interpret it. Like I can like interpret it multiple ways. So like after I heard it, I was like, oh, that's not gonna go over well.
No,
yeah.
My stream was not that clear, so I couldn't really see how the match was going. But like, even if it was going that way, it doesn't. It was just. I sat there listening to it, like, this is very strange. Like, it sounds exactly like what someone would say in
a heated match. Yes.
My
thing is
especially to a lady.
No, what if it's two dudes and he says it? He's like, oh, just what was the wording? God damn it.
See, I think in that case,
he said, just relax, it's going to be over in a minute.
Yeah, just relax, it's going to be over in a minute. If he says it to another guy, is it still a rape joke? Because it's the same exact joke.
It actually is, but it just wouldn't have the impact that it had at the show. You know, it would still be the same thing. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying. They're not demanding, they're not saying, oh, Microsoft is like this and we're demanding apology. They're saying there is something wrong with, gamer trash talk. And this is an example of why it is weird. Like if it was two dudes, I don't think anyone would have said anything. But because it was a guy and a lady, it was just like, now it makes sense why this is probably not, a good part of gamer culture.
My thing is, what if the woman said it to the guy? Would it be the same?
Again,
impact?
the impact would have been different.
Different, okay.
Like, the impact was what it was because of the exact situation that it was. If it was two guys, if it was two girls, if it had been, the girl saying it to the guy, totally different. Like, it would not have been the sort of great example of this problem that it was. Anyway. On second? What were you saying?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the only first party was Forza, Halo, Black Tusk game that isn't really shown. The Quantum Break, and that was it.
Wait, Quantum Break is that considered first party?
Because Remedy belongs to Microsoft, I think.
Or second party?
Actually was the Max the Curse of Brotherhood game?
Oh yeah,
them too.
Yeah, that's first party.
But yeah, they're talking and they said like for first party studios, so it's like they don't exactly have the big guns that like their competition does. So I would.
Well, one thing, it was funny because they had come out and they have the legendary 15, and people clung to the number 15. It's like, oh, 15 new first-party games, and 8 of them are new IP. And, like, Sony basically at the beginning were like, yeah, so we have
That was great.
We have 30 in development, and 20 of them are coming out in the first year, and 12 of them are new IP.
That was great. I love that
like,
part.
Are they purposely trolling Microsoft? So a thing I heard about Quantum Break later is that it's apparently a game and a show.
Yeah, I heard that too.
All going to ship at the same time.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You can only get the show on Xbox One.
Well, no.
Or something.
Apparently, like, it's going to be... the way they made it sound, it was like it was going to be on disc. So, like, the entire first season of the show is on the disc in addition to the game, which is also episodic. I thought it
was integrated within the game. Rather, it's separated?
Well, see, that's where it was confusing. Like
that would be great if you see an episode, and you play the game part,
mm-hmm.
and then like, why are at the beginning you say, why do these two things together? That makes no sense. And then like later on, like it starts to merge as you watch the season. That would be great. That would be a great concept.
Well, we will see. I mean, I have a feeling that a lot of Xbox fans dissed Metal Gear Solid for having too many cutscenes. And just having gameplay that was really cool, and then, like 20, 30-minute long cutscenes. And now Remedy is coming out with this thing, which is, if you think about it, it's basically the same. But now it's new, and they're all gathering around it. Gamer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the concept.
You like the concept?
It's a new concept, so I like it.
I am not so sure it's new, but we will see. Yeah,
I mean,
not
the episodic structure of it, but like having this totally, I can't find the word, but it's like separate show that makes no sense to be within the game, but it's like it sort of ties in.
Does it make no sense?
No, it's just little girl's vision.
Oh, okay.
That's how they brought it up as, and like when they first revealed it, it's like this little girl is seeing this world that you yourself is playing, but you don't know what's the relation between the two. I don't know. Maybe it's just gonna be another Saint Elsewhere, where it's just this kid's brain like in a hospital bed in a coma. You never know.
Like the way I took it, and I'm not really sure, but it seems like what it's going to be is gameplay segment, long non-interactive segment, gameplay segment, and then long non-interactive segment, and it's like that is the structure of Metal Gear. So, I don't know, except like with Quantum Break, the non-interactive parts are part digital and part live action. So, like, well, does that make all the difference? Didn't we have FMV games before?
Yeah, and now they're making a comeback, which is great.
Yeah, that was weird. Like when they first, I don't know. Actually, no, when they showed it at their conference, because like the guy from Rendy was like, we're having the live action group or whatever, and like the live action students, or maybe I'm trying to think of like where I heard this, but like they have like the whole live action part of the game, but it's live action, so that's just weird that there's like a whole segment of the game that's live action. But I guess it makes sense now that we talked about the whole like TV show part of the game, which is so weird to me.
I mean, like it made sense, I think, with Alan Wake and some of the other things. Like it's cool when you have your game and the game is all game, and cutscenes. Like I'm okay with Metal Gear's structure, but I liked it how it was. Alan Wake the game was sort of its own thing, and then you had, if you wanted to see more, you could watch. Oh man, I can't even remember what the series was called, but they had that live action series, which was the companion to Alan Wake. It's like, oh, that's really cool. You can get more into the fiction that way. But when they're merging it together now, and so I understand why they want to do it, because this is, I guess, it's always been their interest. But I don't know how it's going to work out, having it all together as one thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will.
But it was like that was the only game I was like mostly excited for.
Everything
else.
I wanted to see more of that demo. I was like, oh, it did so abruptly. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, you know what I hated? It's
that was about to get me excited, and then it just ended. I was like, oh.
like before he showed the games, like, oh, this is all in-game gameplay, but then like there was no gameplay. It was just a cutscene.
I know.
A really beautiful cutscene.
I forgive them for being non-English speakers, I think, or non-native English speakers.
In the back of my mind, I was just like, well, I have Quantum Dream on on the PlayStation
And
platform.
you know, it's funny. We totally like just steamrolled World of Tanks for 360 or Minecraft for Xbox One. It's like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing about free to play on 360 and on Xbox One. They're not free to play.
Yeah.
You still have to pay $60 on top
kind
of
of
it.
free to play.
Yeah. Those announcements were just like, yeah, they're there for people that like them. So I guess it's
Yeah, actually, back to the 360, like, they showed 3 games, and then, like, it just showed, like, the thing I've been talking about, like, every episode or whatever.
What were the other two?
The, World of Tanks, Max the Curse of the Brotherhood, and Dark Souls 2.
Oh,
But,
okay.
like, just, like, their lack of 360 games, like, just shows, like, how strong, like, the PS3, like, is, like, still loaded, like, even after so many years, and, like, just still going strong. And I was like, yep, Sony's got my back.
I think it
So
was last week, wasn't it? It was just like, they're saying, oh, yeah. In fact, today, I think Don Matrix was telling people that, oh, if you don't have internet, then it's a good thing we have the 360. Buy the 360. It's like, really?
And
It's like, that is, you know, it's sort of, it makes perfect sense. It ties into their entire very anti-consumer attitude towards everything. It's just like, oh, you know, we don't care that you want Xbox One games. We only care that we also have this thing that you can buy from us.
Yeah, it's so weird when, like, they showed the new 360 redesign, because it looks exactly like the Xbox One. It's like, why would you do that? That's going to confuse consumers. But I guess they like confuse consumers because they just give them money. So.
I think, yeah, maybe that's their plan. It's just like, oh, you can't. Oh,
I'm
you don't
pretty
have,
sure
you
it
don't have
is.
internet? Well, in that case, get this one. It's like, well, what's the difference? Like, well, this is just a 360, but it's new. It's a new 360.
yeah, that for me, that redesign came out of nowhere. It's like, what? This makes no sense. Why would you want to redesign again? You just redesigned it like what, 2 years ago or 3 years
Chances
ago?
are it's cost. You know,
To make it cheaper, yeah.
Yeah,
but the
now
thing
they're
is,
just
they
making
didn't drop
small
the price.
flexible plastic.
They didn't drop the
No,
price.
it's cost for them. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's cheaper to make 360s if we make them out of the same material that we're making Xbox Ones out of. So we'll just make all of them like this, and then that way we cut costs for us, and we can still sell them for the same amount because, you know, people don't think that way. Only analysts think that way.
Or as Michael Pachter would say, it's a profit deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, you know, like the PS3 and 360. 360, they gave it a new redesign, but it's like, why are these systems still freaking huge? They should be small as hell. It's like 6-year-old hardware.
Yeah.
2013, like, those should be like a small ass chip by now. Like, mobile phones are getting to that fidelity where they could just they almost look like 360 and PS3 games. So why are they still freaking huge? That makes no sense to me.
To be fair, maybe it's because consumers are sending them weird messages. Like, there was such an uproar when PS4 didn't show the box that they somehow have it in their mind as like, wow, you know, the box, being able to see the box is really important. So instead of making it small where they can't see it anymore, we should probably just keep it the same so that they can be like, yeah, that's my 360 sitting under the TV. That was totally not serious.
Like, I just want a 360 and a PS3 that's like the size of the Wii. That, like, just give that to me. Let me have some compact design so that when I do fit the PS4, it's just snug. I don't know. And then I think that was they did show gold members, they could share their gold status. It's like, huh?
What?
It's like
Which part?
So if you have gold and you have a family member who's just like another account on your system, they could use Netflix without being on gold.
Ah.
That's like, why even have it in the
About
first place?
time.
Yeah, about time, yeah.
Man.
So finally,
well, yeah. I think finally, or, sorry.
Kind of.
Kind of. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think for me, the Microsoft press conference, it was basically the Metal Gear Solid 5 intro. Like, that sort of summed up the whole thing. It was like they wanted people to applaud, but they didn't really care what they applauded for. So they just wanted people to appear happy, but they just have no idea how to do it.
Mm.
Okay, so stuff we still didn't touch on was the Xbox Studio software for the DVR stuff, and then the currency change from Microsoft points to actual money. Yeah.
That's meaningless.
That skin stuff is so stupid. Why would you want to apply it to a video? You just want to show your clip of something that happened. You don't have to put this like Jago skin on it where there's like multiple shit happening at the same time, and your username. Oh, it looks so badass. No, I just want to show the clip. Like, you don't have to use the skin. It's just stupid. It's like just.
Yeah.
And there's that software. It looked, even though PS4s look basic as well. So it just seems tacked on. Like,
yeah.
It seems like they didn't have it in the first place. Then you saw, oh, PS4 fucking has this thing. Oh shit, we have to have our studio as well. And they didn't. Did they show how it integrated within Xbox One?
Nope.
Like they played the game and then
Well, that
he
was
was
like
doing
their
shit.
smart glass.
He was doing,
that was like their smart glass.
He was doing
part,
shit
like
on his tablet. It's like,
they brought out the community manager lady, and she's like, "Okay, now I'm gonna play some Killer Instinct," and like the guy came back out, and then they played, and he said that thing, and they was like, "All right, let me upload this clip," and then she's like, "Do you know what a something is?" And then they showed like the whole Twitch thing, and then yeah, that was that part.
You know, which is neat. Like, all you have to do is say Xbox broadcast and click it's there. But the same thing is like PS4's button to just shit.
Yeah. I'm going to move my finger literally less than an inch.
Oh my god, seriously.
I think we can move on from Microsoft now.
Yeah.
They're just...
Well, just a few more things. There's like Witcher 3, Battlefield Second Assault,
we don't
First Map Pack
remember them.
on 360.
They don't matter.
Oh, Tropical Burn. All right,
because they're on PC as well. It's like, what's the point? So
Yeah, exactly. Like
Right.
that became one of the things. It was like, oh man, Titanfall kind of looks, I don't know, it looks kind of not that next gen, but the idea seems interesting. I would be interested in playing it, and then it's like, oh, it's on PC.
Titanfall was pretty cool. Like the lobby system, we're not looking at a screen full of like usernames.
Actually, yeah, that's the one thing I
That
liked.
was
Was like that's my favorite part was the lobby, and then like the game was like counting down, and like you get like the cutscenes of like the NPCs of like, all right, here's the objective. Like that was the one thing I enjoyed about that demo. Like the rest of it was just like me being completely jaded about shooters. Like, F this game. So like, yeah.
You have this commander doing, you want to live forever? like looking at you like, oh my god, I have to like drop suit like ODST style.
That was so cool. That was just like.
And if you watch this like this 1080p 60 frames per second footage, holy shit, it looks so good.
Really?
For a Source game, I have to say that because it, like Tropical said in a tweet or something or Facebook, he said it doesn't look next gen, and I do agree. It does not look next gen. Like it doesn't have like part of like really awesome visual fidelity. It looks like a Source game. Like, oh my god, through and through. Like the mouth flaps, like. Oh, especially when compared to like Rise, where it's like, oh god, just like everything is like featured, or Quantum Break, where all the facial features are like mapped to their face from mocap. This one's like mouth flaps when the woman's talking. I'm like, oh, what is this? But it's nice. I do like the concept of let's make it a multiplayer match seem like you're playing single player. But the thing is, what killed me, what ripped me out of the moment was seeing numbers pop up.
Yep, I was about to say, Gamer, what about all the plus 500? Plus 100?
There's A, B, C. Like, oh, dude, come on. Just let me turn that shit off.
See, it's funny because like I feel kind of opposite because like the like thing that made it feel like multiplayer is like all the stuff that they brought in that annoys me from multiplayer, which is always the person screaming at you to get to the objective. It's like Ramirez, go here, Ramirez, go there, secure the AAA guns. Blah, blah. I was like, I don't want the bobbing head screaming at me in multiplayer too, even though I don't play it anymore.
Well,
I was like,
this time it's not some like other guy that's telling you, God damn it, gamer, you're not going for B, you go for A. But now you have this A character. Oh, go for A because you want to get the guns down.
To me, it just felt like an extension of the whole "Are you a V is online? Are you a V is online?" Like that just keeps popping up, and like it's gonna get annoying. I'm like, F that game, whatever.
No, but if they don't introduce perks, I would be so grateful. I hate that system is outdated by now. It's like it had its time. Let's move on to the next evolution of multiplayer.
All right, so do we want to talk about the price and release date, or just move on?
Oh yeah, there was a
God
price and release date.
damn.
Well, I don't think it matters if we don't talk about PS3 price, which was
RPG is online.
$100 cheaper.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of crazy. Who was like the analysts were talking about it. Michael Pachter was saying, yeah, so I expect the Xbox One to be $400 and the PS4 to be $350. And then I saw an article. It's like, why do these predictions matter? It's like, well, it's because if this guy who is sort of the specialist says these things and lots of other analysts join in, then if Microsoft comes out at a higher price, then suddenly their stocks experience a little bit of drop because it's like, they don't know any better. They have to follow their analysts. It's like, oh, the analyst says this, so it's too high, so they're probably not going to sell that many, and then they go down. Where was I going with that?
No, but
well,
I think
the thing that gamers were thinking is just like, it's weird because of Michael Pachter's prediction, suddenly all the mainstream people think that the Xbox One is a more powerful machine than the PS4, wherein all the tech people say that PS4 is the premium machine and the Xbox One is not the premium machine. And so, now we're at this point. It's like, well, yeah, now Xbox themselves believe that we have the premium machine. You can do all this stuff with your TV. It is going to be awesome. Doesn't
if you have live TV, that's like there should be an asterisk in their box. If you have live TV, this is worth $100 more.
or
if you
or
don't
double asterisk under it
I'm
if
not
you're one of
sure.
the boring old people that like to watch TV.
Hey,
I was just about to say,
RPG.
because it's like, hey, everyone. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, by the way, I'm here, listeners. Hey, but I'm not sure if. Were you guys talking about like the price difference between the two consoles now or something, or?
We just
Pretty
were just talking
much,
about
like,
the price of
Yeah,
360
the
or I mean, Xbox
$100,
One.
it makes. I don't know. Like most people have been saying, it's the Kinect. It's like, oh, bundling in Kinect. Kinect right now costs $100, so that must be the $100, and that
I
is
think it is.
possible.
I think Kinect costs that much.
I kind of thought that at first too, but then at the same time, I feel like by now Kinect can't be that expensive for them to like manufacture or anything, and I'm almost sure they didn't change like that much about the camera where it's like, okay, yeah, this justifies it being so much more expensive. I just feel like Microsoft charged that much because they're Microsoft, and they're like, you know what? Sony's probably going to launch at like $600 or something. Let's go ahead and jump up in there because, I mean, nobody likes cheap consoles, right? So.
Well, the other thing I think it has to do with is smartphones, the rise of smartphones and tablets, where, like with PCs, we have a very good idea of how much they're worth. So, like, everyone who's built their own PC looks at an Alienware and says, that costs too much because, look, I can buy this part, I can buy this part, I can buy these parts, put it together, this is how much it costs. With smartphones, though, it's sort of different. Like, no one builds their own smartphone. So there's sort of this,
Interesting.
I think purposely there's this gap in the knowledge of how much things are worth and how much they cost.
Yeah.
So smartphones, they're crazy. It's like $700 for a top-of-the-line smartphone. It's like, that is insane. And, two things, like, yeah, we don't know the real cost. And the other thing is all the subsidized smartphones. So we're really clueless about these things. So with the Xbox, if they really are going, I guess, for that broader audience that people keep saying,
quote unquote,
I kind of feel like that's what they're banking on. They're saying, look, people saw the value of smartphones, so they're okay with paying $600 for an iPhone because Apple, when Steve Jobs was around, they did a really good job of communicating not the technology, they communicated this is what it lets you do. This is what it lets you do. This is how it improves your life. And people are like, oh yeah, I'm down with that. And I think Microsoft is trying to do the same thing with Xbox One, but it's not working because, the main audience, we're not that kind of people. We look at it and it's like, well, hang on. It's the same chip here. Oh, these are older RAM chips. We can still kind of look at that and figure out it's a souped up PC. Why does it cost that?
All right, well, I guess since RPG's here, I mean, we basically just went over the 360 conference, but Xbox conference, so we can just end it here with part 1 and come back after this to talk about Sony.
My guess is within these months we're waiting, they're gonna announce a subsidy price because they want to look cheaper, and that's probably the only way they can do it.
They're gonna be hard pressed to look cheaper.
Probably, actually, yeah, I do think that they're working on a subsidy.
Yeah, $299, you pay 2 years of life.
I don't know. That seems like a bit of a stretch even for them. They'd probably match the PS4's price and do something like that, but I doubt they'd go that low.
If they do that, then what's the point?
Yeah, it's just like, because
it's
the
the way
price
they
of the PS4 right now, but next month I will have paid $15. So in 3 months, suddenly I paid more for the Xbox One than I did for the PS4.
Well, not to mention they're still paying $60 a year for it.
Well, I mean, from Microsoft's standpoint, though, I mean, I'm sure they still believe they have the superior online thing, whatever it's called, stuff. But so I mean, I'm sure they feel like it's justified if it's. They're like, well, everybody thinks we have the best online service, and we have the best multiplayer games and all the DLC and stuff. It's like, so people wouldn't mind paying this extra price even if it because then. On the outside, it looked like, okay, these two consoles are the same price, so, maybe I could just go for the 360 one because I don't notice the underlying nickel and diming that they're going to be doing to me, and I'm still going to end up paying out the ass for it anyway. So it's kind of like, it can be like deceptive marketing in a sense, because, I mean, really they just have to...
Like, if anyone is that dense, though, they could sell them the $500 one. And they don't even need to fool them into thinking it's the same price as the PS4. It's just like, oh, it's $500, and those people are like, yeah, Xbox, woohoo, I want it, and they just buy it.
Well, there are still people out there like that because I mean, Xbox. I mean, for Microsoft's,
where are the half sensible people who are like, oh, it's the same price, and then they didn't see that other part.
Because people only look at it's just like, that's the thing that jumps out at you at first. It's like, okay, so this is the console price. It's not, I mean, of course we would look at something like that and be like, okay, well, I mean, I'd also have to be paying for live service, and it's like, well, do they have the support I want all after the fact and all this and all these other factors? But for people who are either one, diehard Xbox fans, or two, just having, or some kids making their parents go buy them something like that. I've seen that happen a lot, where parents just walk in the store and people just blindly tell them, go ahead and get a 360 because they have the best everything, which...
Well,
yeah.
I mean, in case it's not abundant to, or clear to the audience, we were talking about possible subsidies on the Xbox One, which I think we think are possible, but yeah, now we're sort of debating, well, what would it be? Would it be $100 less than the PS4? Would it be price parity, and then hope that people don't see the $15 a month that they have to pay for 2 years?
I just don't believe they'd go that low, because I mean, because at $300 that'd be even cheaper than, I guess, the Wii U, the good Wii U anyway. So it's like, I mean, while that would, I guess, look good, even though I don't think the Wii U was being as successful as like the Wii was, so it wasn't like that big of an issue. But it just seems, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a Microsoft move. They make so much more money the other way.
I think they would undercut them just because like that was one of their tiers of last gen was the arcade SKU, which was a terrible purchase, and like everybody was like it's terrible, but they sold so many. They sold so many, so it makes perfect sense for them to just
once again
completely go in on this.
You have people who don't like know enough about the system where they're just like, well, at this price point, it seems like a good buy, but for those of us who are like, well, this hard drive isn't big enough, and I can't really do much with this console at all, and it's kind of just like, yeah, this would just be a stupid buy because I'd end up having to buy a bigger hard drive anyway and going through all this extra stuff, so this isn't good at all. But for people who just walk in there like, well, I don't know anything about consoles, I just want a console to play games on, and then of course these people are selling them stuff as like, well, the 360 has this, and it's a cheap bundle, and they don't find out until after the fact that it's like, okay, well, I probably should have thought about this before I just jumped in, because a lot of times I don't know how.
It's funny because that was their ad strategy or campaign. Jump in.
Yeah.
So the other issue we were talking about was did they have to announce the price at this point? And I actually don't think that they needed to. I think Gamer, you didn't think that they needed to.
Yeah.
It's just like I think it might have been too early even. I think they have not, if you can establish value, the sticker price doesn't matter as much. And I don't think they've established value. I mean...
Well, they probably thought they did.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
you didn't.
It seems weird. It's like almost like a delusional state where it's like, when we showed that TV stuff, man, gamers went crazy and they hated it.
There were a lot of
out there loved
the crowd.
it.
So, I mean... Clearly, someone loved it, Tropical.
Someone
even
loved
if they were
it,
getting paid
so
to love it.
We have totally got this value message down. All we need to show is, teases of games, and we'll be set. And they'll totally want it. $500. Let's just do it now. And I can't imagine that they thought that.
Because the second I saw the price, I was like, yes, so I'm not getting an Xbox One.
Exactly.
Me too.
Well, I had thought that even before, to be fair. So it wasn't the price
I was trying to give them I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because some of the games I saw in the conference, I was like, okay, some of these are kind of cool. Maybe they might have something in the future that I might be further interested in. But as soon as they set the price point, I was like, well, none of the games look that good. So it kind of just went from, oh, okay, some of these are cool to, oh, not that cool. Maybe we should try a little harder for that price point, guys. But I don't know.
And did they say, for me, it's like, what is at launch when this thing comes out? Because at least Sony did. Sony said Knack, Killzone, and...
Infamous.
Not Infamous.
Oh, wait, no, that's Q1. That's Q1. The Drive Club.
Drive Club.
Yep.
It's this fall. But Microsoft only announced, Forza's coming out.
Because everything they're just like, it's going to be launch.
Rise is at launch.
Oh.
Rise is a launch game?
Yeah, Rise is a launch title.
Because other than that, it's probably like they're doing like the Nintendo launch garage thing where
and they're also going to lean on the third parties and be like, so guys, we
for their games.
led you through what are your launch titles that we can launch with, dudes?
Yeah, it's interesting because now Call of Duty and Battlefield have exclusive agreements with Microsoft, and it's just like, I thought you wanted.
But did you hear the map pack for Battlefield 4? Is just a rehash of maps from Battlefield 3. It's like, why would I give a shit if I could take down a building?
Exactly.
But it seems like they're gonna introduce those features in those maps, so it's like,
yeah.
It's only a month. Gotta wait a month.
Yeah, seriously. It's never that serious.
It's weird messaging when people believe that the TV target is a broader audience, but maybe the broader audience only likes shooters. Is that how it is? Because now they have kind of solidified themselves as you want the best shooter stuff right when it's available to the public, buy Xbox, because we got DLC. Exclusive period for Call of Duty and Battlefield.
But I mean, while we know that that's not going to last for all that long. But I guess like impatient people will kind of jump on. It's like, yeah, I can't wait that 1.5 months or something it's going to take for the map packs to come over there, and they'll probably try to jump on it. But
you have like no faith in any intelligence.
I don't.
Even the early
anymore.
adopters. We're talking about the early adopters here.
For me, it's like, why can't they just rip out TV stuff, rip out the camera, and just give me the game console part because I want to play some of your exclusives. Just give me that for $300 or something.
Yeah,
well, I think
that's probably how much it costs without that bullshit camera.
Because then they mentioned that like Kinect is pretty much required for it to even
it's required.
work.
But
so,
then they put all this like when they released their policy page, they're like, oh, you could turn off Kinect. Then what's the fucking point of having it connected? I have no idea why. I don't care about Xbox on. I press a button on the controller, it turns on.
It doesn't have a power. It doesn't have a power button anymore. You have to use Kinect.
It's on the top.
The guide button.
That's how they get you. It doesn't actually work. It's for show.
I don't get why they have to include all this hodgepodge. You know, give me another SKU. Give me another SKU that just removes all the bullshit from the system.
It's easier to force it down your throat when they force it down your throat.
How are they going to force live TV down my throat? I don't have live TV in my room. This makes no sense. This makes no sense.
Now that you have Kinect, you have to have it.
Yeah,
I feel like they're trying to make it seem like one of these. It's more of a luxury feature, if anything. But which is weird though, because like even the 360 or the Xbox One, they have like Netflix and Hulu and everything. So it's kind of like it's almost like going against their own kind of sales or marketing or whatever, because it's like, well, you have these things that are like basically directly competing with cable and TV, so why would this? Yeah, it wouldn't like it doesn't seem like it would make sense, and I guess like Gamer was saying, Kinect doesn't really seem like a thing that's absolutely necessary at all, because I don't remember them even like showing off. Well, I mean they did show off some games that use the Kinect features, but it didn't seem like something that you wouldn't be able to just do with the controller or something where it's just like, okay, well, I have to have it.
I guess I can actually I can appreciate Microsoft this year. Like the Kinect train did not roll in the station this year. It was like, hey, Tekken, we're not gonna drop you off at that station you don't like to go to every year. It's like, yes.
So like for me, they have competing tech within their own console. They have Smart Glass and they have Kinect. What the hell am I gonna use? Why are they separating them? Oh, I could use Smart Glass to view movies and play movies on Netflix and whatever. It's like, then they have Kinect. It's like, I don't care about all this tech. Just, I could do everything with a controller. Yeah. Oh my god.
And this is why I'm going to be getting a PS4 and not an Xbox.
Me too.
There's no, because I don't need all this extra stuff, and the PS and I'm kind of glad that actually, even though they did mention some of their media stuff during their conference, which because they had their partnerships whatever, but it's like at the same time though, it's not like they weren't just like they didn't like devote like 2 hours to just talking about all the music you can download and stream on their console and stuff. It's like, yeah, this stuff is here, but we also have all these games you could just go to, and it's like it wasn't just shoved down your throat for you to. It's like, yeah, it's just like an added bonus for them,
but
as
for
opposed
me,
to where it's like a big feature that they're trying to sell on.
The problem with that strategy they had, like TV stuff in one area, fine, but then when they just showed all games and none of the Xbox Live service, that was crazy. What is Xbox Live on Xbox One?
They just took. I think they just took the criticism to the logical extreme, where they were like, "Well, people were complaining we didn't show games. Well, we're gonna just show them games and nothing else." So that's what you got.
Xbox Live is what made them what they thought was different from everything else. Like, is it gonna be the same feature set as before? Like, there's nothing different except for Twitch integration. Is that it? That's bullshit.
For all we know,
no ads on the dashboard.
We don't even know what the dashboard. We saw the dashboard, but that was a fake dashboard. So what does the real dashboard look like? What does it look like when I'm playing a game? When my friends are playing a game? What does a friends list look like? What does it all look like?
Did they mention whether or not, like, if you already have like a 360 account, if you don't have to like have like a different one for the Xbox One, do you? Or is it just like you have it's like a carryover kind of?
No, you said it carries over.
Xbox Live. Oh, okay. Because otherwise they could have kind of tried to up their price or something like they did before when went from 50 to 60 or whatever it is now or something. And they justify it because now it's on the Xbox One, so you have both consoles in live. So
it's like PlayStation. They had that. Did you see that YouTube video of the guy using the interface?
Yeah. That seemed like something kind of cool. Like, this would be fun to have that experience.
Yes, that was incredibly cool. Like how he was talking. Like I hate cross game chat, but he was cross game chatting with his friend who was playing Killzone. Like, hey buddy, you buy this game and play with me. So he buys it on the fly.
Oh, you mean the thing after the
Yeah.
He buys it.
I want that
fly.
lady as my friend.
I think everyone does. Well,
I
except for
joined her
Topical, he's
clan
married, but
instantly.
because it was cool because
I can have friends.
oh yeah, that's true. But that was cool that she was on her cell phone chatting with them.
Yeah.
And then saying, "Oh, they're having a fun time. I'll buy Killzone as well." That was showing the integration between all their devices.
Yeah.
Sure, it could be faked. Who cares? They showed it like that's their vision.
That's the vision. Yeah.
Yes, but Microsoft, they didn't show anything of how that everything is going to work together. They kept on showing that freaking tablet. Oh, this is going to use the tablet, and then they did show it. They showed the gamer score or the stats screen, whatever, right? On the screen.
On Rise, they did that thing too.
But what if a person doesn't have a tablet? What does it look like? Oh. Next. Oh.
They don't care about people like me, gamer. They don't care.
Yeah, we gotta move on because I can rip on them some more if you want. I have lots more to say, but
all right, Sony Conference, let's go.
Exactly. Yeah, let's move on to greener pastures.
Well, sort of greener, because that conference was
really slow. Yeah. You know, I think what it was expectation. Like, we know that Sony has all these first-party studios that do amazing work. Yeah. And so we sort of expected them to come out and just be like, boom, 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 Naughty Dog, fall out. And it's just like, oh my gosh, mind blown. I don't need another price. Take the But it was not like that at all. It seems like Sony, they really care about their heritage in that they have been the platform like they create the platform and then third parties succeed on their platform. So, PS2 was the big example. Grand Theft Auto just exploded. And it wasn't just because of Sony, it was because of, like Rockstar making this amazing game. And the PS3 sort of had it was a different situation for them where like third parties were just like, we're not sure about this architecture and whatnot. And so it sort of fell on Sony themselves to be like, we have to prove our system. Yeah. And they went out and got those studios. Yeah. They're just like, this is what this system can do. And
it's like heavy rain, bitches.
Exactly. But so with PS4, they've already built that. So it's like, okay, we don't necessarily want to become Nintendo, I think is what the message I got from them was. Like, we don't want people just to buy PS4 to play Sony-made games. We want people to buy our system because it has all of the games and our own games. Yeah, and that's sort of what I took from them.
Yeah, because being like a first-party only machine is kind of like a dangerous road to go down, because I feel like it's kind of like hurt Nintendo more than it's helped them now at this point. But I mean, we can get to that once we.
You make a bad Mario game and you're screwed. It's just like no one likes Mario anymore.
It's like what do you have left now?
That's 1/4 of our franchises,
basically. I don't know. I guess for me, like, I was like really excited for the Sony conference, so I guess being so anxious, it just made it seem like it just dragged on and on. I'm like, oh my god, why is this 3 hours long or whatever? So it just seemed like, even though they were showing like stuff I was interested in, at the same time I was like, okay, this needs to be done like now, because I need.
Like there's some things they could have cut, like the Vita. Like they mentioned Vita because here's a Vita, there's stuff for it, blah blah blah. It's like they could have just cut the 10-minute segment out. It's like you only showed like 3 games for it. It's like, yeah.
3 new games.
Walking Dead, dude. Seriously, I saw that. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna buy that.
That was an
Like,
exciting.
I'm totally buying that.
But Walking Dead
game.
is just for everything as well. So it's like,
I know, gamer, but I cannot play it on the go on my
I know it's
PSP,
Vita,
so it's gotta
and hopefully
upgrade.
it's better because Vita has more RAM than 2 systems. But I heard it runs like shit on PC as well, so I don't know. I'm not holding my hope for Telltale Games to make something good. But like, okay, they showed Vita, but what was great is that they still showed PS3. Like, you know what? There's still a great library coming for PS3, and here's some of the games that are coming for it. That was great. Then like, what was it? What was the start?
Last of Us trailer, Puppeteer trailer.
That Last of Us trailer is like, I had to stare away because like, no spoilers. It's coming out Friday, for fuck's sake. Like, God.
And then the Rain gameplay snippet, Beyond Two Souls trailer, Gran Turismo 6, oh my gosh, cannot wait. Arkham Origins, and GTA 5 stuff, that's great.
Actually,
that's
like
great.
they kind of went through that without like stopping in between each one to talk about each thing too, because I think that kind of like, because then it would have only made things longer. It's like, oh my god, just release a press thing or a press release or something, so I can skip all this.
They could have cut that segment with GTA 5 bundles. Like, why? Waste of time.
Announced it on the blog.
Yeah.
You guys, it's like what's the biggest franchise? You guys like, they don't need to
No, it's just like it's a bundle. It's not even a price drop too. It's like, oh, it's a bundle.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my god!
You know they don't have 100 million
false
gamers.
headset with GTA 5 decals on it. It's like, who cares?
You know, now that I think about it, the Sony conference was a lot like how I've been feeling about all of E3 this year, in that they aren't showing me what I want to see. You know, I want to see the first-party stuff. You know, I don't care if it's like another Uncharted. In fact, you know, I hope it's not Uncharted. I hope it's something new. That would be really cool. But it's just like, they didn't show that. And then when they actually did move into PS4 stuff, I wanted to see, you know, gameplay of Infamous, gameplay of Drive Club, gameplay of Killzone. And they didn't show any of those things. They just did like a quick trailer version of it.
Well, they didn't have to for Killzone.
That could have been gameplay. You don't know that.
Yeah, I guess Killzone.
They already showed it, or they didn't have to show anything for NAC because they already showed it.
Well, what they said later was that it was during the pre-show, like that part when everyone was getting into their seats. Those 9 screens, like people were playing those games on there, and then they said, "Oh, they're going to be available later online." And it was just like, it was very frustrating. It's like, I want to see those.
Were they available? They weren't available, were they?
So far, only the Infamous gameplay.
Which, looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's like,
but it was just like, they didn't show any of those things. And then, you know, even like during the live shows that I've been watching the past few days, they're not showing gameplay like they used to. You know, it used to be like, oh, we have these people here from this studio, and they're going to show us their demo. And then
they're just like Drive Club. I have never seen a gameplay video of that game yet.
It's crazy, actually. Drive Club looks like those videos. There are some gameplay videos on, I think Game Trailers has one where they actually filmed a guy standing at the booth playing.
But yeah, in the live shows, they just have some guy talking while the trailer is moving. Like, who cares about a trailer?
This is so frustrating. I know it's there. I know people are playing it. Why won't you show it to us? Yeah, like that's what the Sony conference felt like. You know, in retrospect, after I've seen all those live shows, like, yeah, it was just like that. Like, I wanted to see that. And I was like, nope, we're gonna do this thing, and we're gonna do this thing. It's just like, just show me someone playing a PS4 game. It's like, no,
they showed you someone playing a PS4 game. Third-party games.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, Destiny was their closer, but like they showed Watch Dogs again for some fucked up reason, and then they showed Assassin's Creed.
Hey, I gotta say, I was kind of down on that game. Like, they're never showing you driving, and they totally drove, and I was like, okay, I've seen all I need. Watch Dogs, I'm on your team.
No, because for me, it's like I've already been watching footage of Watch Dogs. I already saw how it plays. Why have to show it again? It makes no sense. Maybe they just want to show, Ubisoft jerk off. And then like they showed. Oh man, it was sad for the Assassin's Creed 4 dude. Oh my god, I felt so sad. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality of what could happen with a demo. They had to rush out the door for E3. You know?
I wonder if that's what happened. Like, I think there's no live demos on the live shows because they don't want to be lugging around dev kits. and then they don't want things like that happening. It's like, yeah, a lot of the live shows I've seen.
Yeah, even the Battlefield 4 at the Microsoft thing didn't work.
That was just a video, dude. Oh my god.
That wasn't even playing. There was a lot of technical problems this year, actually. It was sort of weird. It's like, okay, the sound is all weird now. It's like, oh, Crimson Dragon had no sound.
Yeah, that was strange.
The live streams,
Nintendo's stream, oh my god.
No one could watch it.
Nintendo was bad, huh?
It was
the
bad.
stream was just horrible.
It was terrible.
So choppy. I had to go to the UK one to actually see it.
We ended up just switching to YouTube.
I didn't even watch it again. I watched it once. I was like, I'm done. I didn't even care.
I was watching the Assassin's Creed 4. And I was like, why is it? It's freezing. Is it me? Is it the stream? You see it, and then you see another camera. They switch to another camera. Then you see it flowing again. It's like, okay, but it was the actual game freezing on stage. That was crazy.
Man.
But it's unfortunate.
Well, if it would be in a game, it'd be Assassin's Creed.
But for me, it's like those two games. Why? We've already seen, especially Assassin's Creed. Everyone knows how Assassin's Creed plays.
Yeah.
They're just gonna show this cinematic set piece.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point?
Stuff blows up. It's like, well, we saw that last year we saw that.
They showed the sea battle. Yeah,
Brotherhood.
They showed the sea battle last year on PlayStation conference. So it's like they're showing almost the exact same thing. The only difference is when you board that ship, there's no loading screen. Because in Assassin's Creed 3, when you board a ship, it's a loading screen.
Yep.
But this time, it's he goes straight onto the ship and sails it away, and then fire. Even though that's when I went freaking freeze happy. But they could have cut some of those. I know they have to do relations, but man, they could have cut out. Not cut, maybe cut the time from it. Because that Watch Dogs segment was that's kind of slow paced.
Well, even at Ubisoft's thingy, they didn't show.
Yeah, they didn't show anything. They just showed a trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
The one part that did have gameplay that was pretty cool was the indie showcase. I thought that was
awesome.
Really awesome.
That was
the way
awesome.
It felt super classy.
I loved it at the end when they were all playing at the same time.
Yeah. And it was neat how it felt casual. So a lot of parts, especially the Microsoft one, felt very scripted. Whereas when you had these more natural moments, they did feel kind of natural at the Sony one, where he was joking. What's that game? Raise the Dead. He was like, yeah. So they thought they were a small team that we would talk to, so we put them on stage. And the guy's like, he looked genuinely like he's laughing like a joke that guy just made up.
We did forget to talk about Below, from Cappy Games. So that was their indie support.
Besides Minecraft indie support.
And then Adam Boyce from Sony's indie.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Suck it.
Yeah. Yeah,
that kind of felt like the prophecy that me and Tropical had concocted has come to fruition almost. It's all these indie games on stage at once. I was like, it's happening. Yes, I could really.
Well, they realize all these indies are going on Steam and they're having a tale of a time. It's why can't we just have some of that?
It's crazy. The industry has changed so much. We went from Nintendo, who was just we have to vet everything. Why? Because the game industry crashed before, and it was because Atari wasn't vetting anything. They were just oh yeah, whatever, make games, and everyone's like, oh yeah, we want money in games, and then there was all this crap, and consumers no more. And now it's they've gotten to a point. I think just the general population has gotten to a skill level where we're seeing stuff like Apple and just amazing games on mobile, and Sony has been smart enough to see this and be you know what? It's gotten to the point where we don't have to tell people what to make. We don't need to approve their concepts. They are good at making games. We just need to build an audience for them, and then they'll come to us automatically.
Yeah, also the ecosystems and the aggregates in place of how things just float to the top and be oh man, people are talking about it because social media is just so spread out, and just the speed at which you can communicate. It's oh yeah, so good, awesome.
And plus, the indies, they fill that void where it's now missing that B tier
Exactly.
It's not a bad game, but it's just right. Like, it's new ideas that are just
It's like,
good
a
enough
constant
length.
stream of refreshing
Yes.
and
Yeah.
fresh ideas and stuff.
Yep. So
Like Octodad. I can know what to play the
Yeah,
game
that was
and walk around as an octopus.
that looked
dude.
hilarious.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, the indie showcase was great. It just reminds me of something. There was talk that maybe it feels like EA is maybe mad at Sony for some reason, and I'm, when people start bringing up that rumor, I was like, do you think it has to do with DRM? Like, EA really wants no more used games, so you guys make these systems so that they block used games, and then we'll be happy with you. And Microsoft kind of did it, and Sony was kind of like, no, we don't want to do that. And it's like this power struggle all the time. People always think retailers have more power than the game publishers for some weird reason. And even though they rely on each other, like if there's no publishers, who's making the games? And this feels like the same thing, where it's like EA is like, well, if we don't support the PS4, then the PS4 is screwed. Look what we did to the Dreamcast. Look what we did to was it the GameCube that they didn't support?
Yeah.
They're just like, but maybe PlayStation is going, you know what? I think we're going to be okay because we got our studios and we got indies, and you're EA. People hate you.
Yeah.
So.
To me it's so crazy how much people hate EA when I go online. It's
Yeah.
but they make good games too.
Kinda
I like Rikito. It's man, it's crazy.
But it's just that's just
It's I think what it is their DRM policies, like you said, it's just it just makes people so furious to have that control taken away.
Yeah. I'm wondering indies will bolster your platform. If you just do the right thing, indies will follow your platform, and then people who love indies, they're like that too. They're very loyal to the indies because the indies do the right thing. Indie developers are the ones that go out and they just they're talking to their audience. And so I'm wondering if they're trying to go that way instead of what everyone is predicting. Tons of people predicted that Sony had to do what Microsoft was doing because they couldn't imagine publishers allowing DRM on one system and not on the other. And when they made that announcement at the end, it's we're doing the same thing as we did for PS3. Those people were just like, what? Is this even possible? The rumors persist. Edge Online is saying, developers are saying that Sony's, they didn't mean it. They just said it for good PR. But
man, that's spin. Oh my god, seriously.
Actually, publishers are still going to do what they want. And it's just I don't. Well, okay, yeah. I guess we won't know until PS5 and whatever comes next for Xbox if they survive. We'll know at the end of the next generation.
I hope that's a long time from now. Seriously, I don't want to be playing this game again, in 5 years or something.
The rumors seem like they're not totally mad. They do follow some sort of consistent internal logic. So the only the proof is going to be in the pudding, and the pudding is not going to be done until the end of the next generation. So it's all right.
It's a really long pudding.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Tekken, take us through some things that we should
They
comment on.
unveiled the console in the rhombus shape that it is. So
Slick?
But it
Yes,
does
no,
look
we like it.
very similar to the Xbox One, though, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, these consoles look oddly similar. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but like I said before, Sony kind of did have the whole. They kind of had that design before Microsoft did, so if anything, Microsoft is just kind of playing copycat. So it's just they should have stuck to their weirdly gray and green and whatever color scheme they like to play around with. It's let's take your little vomit console and go somewhere. But it did look. I don't know. The shape just kind of threw me off a bit because at first I was like, is it rectangular or no? But then I noticed it was all angled and stuff, and I was like, it's kind of strange.
I was it's a rhombus? No way.
Well, the promo shots are kind of confusing because when they have it on a stand, it looks like it's straight
Yeah.
edges.
Yeah.
The image.
But it's like, it's not straight. It's like, how the hell is the stand working? Like, I'm confused.
Magic.
But yeah, it's slanted.
Do we like it?
But it is good that it's smaller than I expected, though, because I was expecting a ginormous console. So.
Yeah, it's pretty tiny.
Because when he was holding it, I was like, oh, that's small. That's cradle, like, you can cradle that or whatever, so...
Well, at that point, I wasn't sure yet, because, sometimes the people are big.
Are huge, yeah, right?
Ubisoft conference showed us, but it was just like... after with the official shots, they had, like, the controller next to it, and it's just like, wait a minute, the controller is only that tall, so the system isn't actually that much taller, and then... Yeah, I looked at it. Actually, yeah, I think it's around the size of the current, or the previous generation PS3 Slim. Yeah. And like, well, the camera is tiny compared to Kinect. I thought it was going to be Kinect size, but actually, it's really small. It feels like it's volume-wise is smaller than the controller. Probably is. My first impression though was like, yep, it's a box.
Yeah, that it is.
Because oh man, I don't know how it came to be, but there was just so much hype. What's it gonna look like? What's it gonna look like? And like, when I first heard it, I was like, who cares? But then it sort of got to me, it's hype, and I was just like, yeah, what's it gonna look like? What's it gonna look like? And I saw it, I was like, yep. It's a box.
It's kind of like one of those. It's like kind of like an unreveal or something. It's like you're all hoping. It's like, yeah, it does exist. You're right. But I don't know. I mean, it's a fine design though, but it just like the angles kind of just threw me. It's like this looks sharp, but not like sharp as in snazzy sharp, but more like cut you sharp kind of. If that makes sense. It's really pointy looking. Is the point I'm making. No pun intended.
I fall back on my statement after the Xbox One reveal of I don't care what geometric shape it is, as long as it works, so whatever.
I mean, it'll fit where my other consoles is, so...
So I must say I was not expecting it to be a rhombus or a parallelogram, so I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, well, that's a new one. It's not a rectangular square, so... Bonus points to you, Sony, for... doing something I didn't think anybody would ever do.
I mean, even the PS3 was kind of strangely shaped too, though, when you think about it. With the
yeah.
I mean,
the grill.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, Sony, you and your design shenanigans. But it's cool though.
Do we want to talk about any of the Sony Pictures stuff or Video Unlimited? Okay.
I kind of like fast forwarded through that anyway, so I didn't really pay much attention to that.
So after they talked about the whole, we have over 30 first-party studios working on games, and 12 of them are brand new IPs. Let's show the trailer. They showed The Order 1886, and I was like, wow, that game, because like, to me, this was like all the visually aesthetic things of like games I usually don't like, so I'm not into steampunk crap, and I was like, this is like a combination of all that. But then like it was like a 12 RPG we were talking about this, like it's like Wild West meets Knights Errant, and like supernatural. So it was like the stuff I don't like, but then like it was set in like the modern like history of like historic settings that like are cool, and you combine them, and you have like an interesting enemy type that you're going up against in that setting. So I was like, oh, I wonder if it's like 1886, like how are they going to deal with it? Like if like there's going to be like these type of like social issues like slavery and stuff. So that'll be like really cool. I'm like, so now it's totally on my radar just to like see if there's like any cool stuff like that. And just like he had Galahad as like a dude in like a chariot. And like it looks like friggin'
I thought it was gonna be like a King Arthur game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like him, but he had like all this Victorian era clothing, so it's like, oh man,
and there's a
cool
train for some reason.
Yeah, cause like the train, I was like, oh, it's like Gettysburg, so like looks like they're in Gettysburg.
Subway.
So, like all those cool like settings into one. I was like, oh, I'm pumped for this game, like visually anyway. So I'm on.
Yeah, it does look
and it had like 4 characters. So I'm like, co-op. Yeah.
That's what got me excited, because I was like, oh, there's more than one of them. It's like must be online co-op or something available. But
and the lightning gun at the end was like, ooh, that's and like with all these different settings, you have like these cool like crazy alternate history weapons. I was like, what are they gonna do with the weaponry? So now I'm pumped.
You know,
I was like, score one for Sony.
the game reminds me of, it's like a spiritual successor to Resistance, because that's what Resistance was like
Oh
taking
yeah, alternate history.
Yeah, I thought of
alternate
that
history.
too. I thought that too. I was like, I hope it's not. Well, I wasn't a fan of Resistance.
Well,
so
apparently
it's
it's third person, and it's
Ooh.
action game. So not necessarily just
So
a
it's not a
shoot.
shooter. Yeah.
I did not know that was in game.
I did not either until you said that.
Oh
I
really?
just assumed it was.
That's
'cause
like the hard thing. Like, it's like, see, that's the hard thing about next gens. Like, you don't know what's real, what's not real.
Well, at that
Actually, that's the one cool thing about this E3 to me is like everything looked amazing.
Yeah,
like nothing did not like.
pretty much
I looked at it and
go-
was like that looks like crap.
My rule
Like,
of
across the
thumb is
board,
like
everything looks
everything is in game unless they state specifically it's not. So I'm just like,
It's like,
you know
I wasn't-
what?
I- like,
Everything looks like that.
There was like nothing that like specifically like blew me away like visually, but like everything looked good or like amazing or just like at least like up to par, if not above par. It's like yeah, across the board. So no crappy graphics.
Like, I'm crossing my
man,
fingers.
sexy.
Is this the end of compressed video FMV?
I knew it. And I told you, Tekken, didn't I?
I was hoping.
Because
Everything looks so good.
I made that exact point when I was talking to Tekken. I was like, hey, you know how Gamer likes to complain about his compressed videos and crap with everything we talk about. So
It's like now we can finally have everything in engine and have it look so incredible and
Yeah.
just no need for that.
Yeah. That
why do we need
impressed me greatly the day after when I found out, and they were talking about it, and apparently that was one of their design goals. It's like, yeah, we wanted, the game we wanted to make had sort of cinematic elements, and we want the cinematics to, blend perfectly with the game, so, those are our in-game everything. And it was just like, what?
Like now I'm going to be able to go back to playing.
I know, right?
It's just
like,
like
I'm going to be
this
completely
looks
ruined
like
with like, all my
crap
retro games.
compared to mine. This is terrible.
I'll be streaming on my PS3. Like, yep, playing a retro game this week. I'd rather be playing my PS4 right now, but I'm doing this for you, YouTube. You owe me.
Forcing me to play these horrible PS3 games with solutions and
It's going to be like even worse if like the people who are spoiled by like amazing graphics on games that are like current and they go back to play old stuff and they're like, this looks like
I know.
crap.
Even though, like, still looks great, but it's like,
It's like, hey, 1995, this was the shit, okay? I don't want to hear it.
I still play PS1 games, so I can't.
Me too. And then they showed the trailers for the 4 games that they showed at the PS4 unveil: Killzone Shadowfall, Drive Club, Infamous, and Knack.
I like the
And then that's
trailer, which was. I mean, I still didn't get like the whole powers or whatever, but I kind of like the character anyway, so it's a good start at least. But
and then they told us that Infamous is in Q1, but the other 3 are at launch. So have fun with that.
Woo!
And then Quantum Dream teased that 12-minute tech demo, which I watched, and it was pretty funny. I was like, well, at least they can do other stuff besides depressing drama, because, seriously.
I was worried they were going to actually show all 12 minutes of it. I was like, oh. I'm glad they didn't, but I was just like, don't do this to me.
And then they brought out Supergiant Games to show Transistor, which will be debuting first on PS4 next year. And then they had the Indie Showcase, which we already talked about, and they showed all these awesome indie games. I guess I'll go down the list. So we had Don't Starve, Mercenary Kings, Octodad, Deadliest Catch, Cannot Wait, Day 1, Secret Ponchos, Raid's Quest, Outlast, Oddworld. Okay, Oddworld Inhabitants, I'm not sure if it was Oddworld Inhabitants New and Tasty, or if that's just a new and tasty remake of the game, whatever.
They
It's
said it
remake.
was a,
Yeah,
they
it's
said
the
it was a
remake.
No, I mean like the title of the game. Is it like Oddworld Inhabitants New and Tasty?
Yeah.
Or...
Yep.
Okay. And then Galac Z, this 2D shooter looking game, and that was oh, and they said that all of those would debut first on PS4.
Sweet.
And then they showed Diablo 3 and how the PS3 will have exclusive items inspired by PlayStation franchises, and that more exclusive PlayStation franchise items will be rolled out after it comes out. And then we got
like a reason to buy Diablo 3 again because you love it so much.
I do like that game, but man, there's just so much to play on PC. I'm not sure why I would get it on PS4
Because you love it. What did I just say?
Hello, Tropical, share button. You can like show your tactics
Oh,
and be
Well,
like,
I think what might be cool is the single screen multiplayer, because like currently we all have to be on different computers, because you can't all play on one computer.
Mm.
So maybe, but then another part of it is just the character building, and with 5 character classes already, with an expansion coming soon for PC, and you can go way past the max level in like I don't even remember what the rankings are. There's too much to play in that game, so I don't know what another version would do for me.
Yeah, buy it.
And then the Square Enix logo came on, and Tetsuya Nomura came on, and RPG, what happened?
I went myself a few times, and then, yeah.
The deed that we thought would never happen happened. I was like, oh my gosh, RPG must be, or when he sees this, RPG will be.
Yeah.
I went in with low expectations, like, oh, they're just gonna show the PS3 version.
I know, right?
I mean, well, I
then when
I
I first,
figured
when
if
I,
they did show it, it was going to be PS4 anyway, because I
Well, I
figured
wasn't even
by
expecting
now,
this, so I was like, whatever, Square Enix, they have like nothing.
Yeah.
They've lost touch. They're an old shell of their former glory days as
Yeah,
far as
and when he
never
first
gonna happen.
like brought the guy on, I just assumed they were just going to show like some Lightning Returns crap or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I don't even care right now. I'm still boycotting you people. So I don't know. So it was great though when they did
that
show
looked good.
Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3
Like,
thing. I was like,
after
oh
I
my
saw
god,
that-
I don't know what to do with myself now. So I went out and pre-ordered a PS4 that day.
There was a lot of footage. Like, yeah. Well, the first thing that bugged me, he appeared and he's like, we don't have much time to say anything. He's like, are you crazy? Like, who are they kidding when they say in the interest of time? Like, people want to see it. Like, they don't want you to skip it.
It's like, yeah, it's true.
I kind of
And-
love how he was fading out when the logo was starting to appear. I was like, oh, this is
I
hilarious.
was like, is this a glitch? What's going on? And then, yeah, they showed a lot. And then they showed,
It looks pretty.
yeah.
Yeah. The frame rate, kind of low.
It still looks pretty.
But we don't know when it's coming out. That's
Yeah.
You gotta imagine it's coming out in the next
Years.
it has to be coming
year and
next
a
year.
half.
Next
I
year.
figure
There's no
since
freaking
Kingdom
way.
Hearts 3 is in development now. It's probably almost done at least. So it'd probably be late next year or early next. Because I mean, Lightning Returns is coming out next year, so they probably won't release it the same year because they usually try to space out their Final Fantasy releases. So if it does, it'll probably be really late next year or early the year after or something like that to kind of avoid the whole let's compete with ourselves and put the same things on there.
Well, so RPG, you know the teams better than I do, I think. They said that Kingdom Hearts is being made by the Birth by Sleep team. Is
Which
that
Kingdom
the
Hearts
same?
3? I mean?
Yeah.
I think
Is
they're
that
like
the
a
same team that was doing Versus?
yeah. Well, they had multiple Kingdom Hearts teams kind of work because I know it was like the Kingdom Hearts 2 team and Birth by Sleep I think are possibly the same team, and then because they had like a couple of different ones, but yeah, I think they're the same ones that were doing Versus. But then they had to like funnel in some of the Final Fantasy teams because development was taking forever. So I know like the 7 and 10 and were working on it as well. So kind of stalled up in there, but since 3 is in development now, that means that they're just about done-ish, at least. But from my understanding, I don't know, because I was reading somewhere that they were supposed to be in the process of doing, like, other spin-offs or something, so I'm not completely sure what's going on with the Kingdom Hearts studio right now, but...
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I have more faith that Final Fantasy 15 maybe end of next year. Kingdom Hearts, I mean,
Well, Kingdom Hearts
showed
is
really,
looking for another, like, 3 or 4 years
Yeah,
from now,
like,
so
well, that's good looking.
keep our hopes up for that.
but then, they've done that before.
Yeah. At least on the bright side, though, even if that's, like, what they're going for, it at least looks...
It looks
good.
amazing.
So it's like it's kind of like they keep retain the art style, but they're able to make it look like basically like the CG from the previous
The
titles.
first Kingdom Hearts.
It's like there you go. That's what
I
you
was
wanted.
I was screaming on monitors like, I can't believe they announced fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. Those fucking bastards.
They
I
probably
was
did
like-
it because they had no choice because people were complaining about the lack of it existence. So. It's like,
Well,
just give us
I love how they showed all those shitty ass, not shitty, but kind of terrible portable games, like scrolling up, like, oh my god, they're gonna announce something. God They have to announce on Kingdom Hearts 3.
I
They have to show,
thought they were actually going to just announce the 1.5 or something, because, like I said, I really didn't have much faith
after
about
showing
Square Enix going into
Final
this.
Fantasy 15, no.
Because it's Square Enix. I didn't have that much faith in them to begin with, Gamer, when they were on there, so I was just like, okay, so now they're just going to show this stupid HD remix, and then they're probably going to be like, oh, and 2.5 is coming too, because, you know, they just like pissing me off at every turn, so, but, yeah. They probably did that intentionally to kind of let you know that Versus or 15 is almost done-ish, so...
I love the description behind 15. It's like, oh, the scope got so big, it's like we couldn't do it on current consoles.
Yeah,
the way to switch.
It just seemed like it was a pretty. I mean, based on stuff they were saying before, it seemed like they were kind of ambitious about the project when they were doing it for the PS3 anyway. So it's likely that the PS4 kind of just helped it along. It's like, okay, this console is a lot more powerful. We can probably do exactly what we want to do on it instead of, you know, trying to force the PS3 to do it. And it's just not coming out, you know, the same, because everything looked a lot more dynamic in the gameplay compared to some of the previous gameplay stuff they showed in like. I think like Japan had a trailer or something for Versus a while ago, but it didn't look nearly as crazy as the stuff that was going on in the PS4 trailer. So, yeah.
Did you see the gameplay video?
I actually had it loaded up on my computer now, but I didn't get a chance to see it because I was like at work.
It looks
I was at work at
insane.
like 4:30 this morning, so I was not able to see much of anything, but it's like queued up on my computer now, though. So it's just waiting for me to watch it.
I saw it in a restored face in the screening, so I was like, they're back.
But I'm excited.
I can believe again. I can have hope again.
So is your boycott over?
Well, no, not until the actual release, but still, at least step in the right direction, though. Okay. So there's that. And besides that, I really wasn't planning on buying 1.5 or Lightning Returns anyway, so both those games just seem so unnecessary to me. But whatever's. I guess they have to do what they gotta do to make their money.
But yeah, in case you missed all of that, Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 coming to
they're
PS4.
Both multi-platform, though. So.
And they're both multi-platform.
But why would you want to get it for the other system, man?
Yeah, great question. Why would you? I just think it was a strange decision with Kingdom Hearts 3, but I mean, 15 I expected because it was the main line now, but thought it was just weird.
After seeing that, I was like, you know what, I'm never going to say anything bad again if a game takes like too much time in development because it just looks so good. I was like, wow.
No, but they had to switch. So they took so long.
I know they missed their console generation that they were like targeted.
That's
for.
true. They did miss it.
It doesn't matter.
They announced it when the PS3 before it was released, and then because it was at that 3, and then it missed the entire PS3's life cycle and ended up on, which means I'm wondering like how early the PS4 dev kits went out.
It cost to make that game.
No, it's like all that work. It's not garbage, but it's like it's not. I don't know.
Well, the same thing happened with 13 because they initially started developing it for the PS2 and it got bumped over to the PS3. So, but
it wasn't like at the very beginning of PS2.
Well, yeah, it was closer, obviously, but yeah. Well, 13 came out, so I mean, I think that's they announced too many things at once. They got a little too ambitious there, and it's like, oh, we probably screwed the pooch on that, guys. Because it even took them 4 years after the fact to even get 13 out, and we still didn't even see Type 0. So, yeah, those are things that happened.
Yeah,
and then they
definitely over-ambition.
And then Final Fantasy 14 coming to PS3 and PS4 exclusively.
I wonder if you still have to pay a subscription on top of like PlayStation Plus for the PS4 one, because if you are already paying like online for multiplayer and stuff.
Well, Yoshida said it was up to the publisher or something.
Oh,
right?
Oh,
is that what he said? Like if it has a subscription, you don't need Plus or something.
Oh,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something. I think they just have to clarify it a little still.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something about that because it's not like very clear right now. It's like, well, do I have to pay for this? Although I'm kind of bummed that you have to pay for online for the PS4 because I'm like, I don't know if I can justify like getting a subscription for to play like the 1 or 2 online co-op games I usually play every other year or something. So it's like,
it's okay, RPG. If I can gift you a subscription, I will, because how can I live without my mortal enemy
See,
and like facing him down in the virtual battlefields.
Tekken sees value in you having online.
Who else am I going to leave behind when we're playing Borderlands? Just
yeah, seriously.
and have him tell me how terrible of a teammate I am.
Someone's gotta die.
You are a terrible teammate.
Or who's going to be there to chronicle my heroic exploits and be like, taking your terrible teammate? I'm like, what are you talking about, RPG? I told you to save us all. And you're like, no, you're not. Yes, you are.
By save us all, you mean abandon us to go for your own personal gain? Yeah, you do all that. So.
It's funny because like you could actually do that and say, you did abandon us because I have a clip of you abandoning us.
Oh, it's true. The share button now. It's true. We now have proof. It's like, you can't get away with it now, Tekken.
Tekken abandoned me. Aimless abandoned me.
Bunch of montages.
Abandoned RPG. That's what it'll be called.
Strategic retreat, that's what I say. But,
well, I guess part of it is, I guess you wouldn't care about this either, but for other people who might care about it, even single player benefits from, because online isn't just playing online anymore. It's all that, it's the share stuff. And whatever else they add on. So it's not just you're paying PlayStation Plus just to play 1 or 2 games online. It's other things that you probably won't use. But other people might.
I just hope there's like no Dark Souls games or anything that's going to the PS4, because then I'm going to have to get a subscription somehow. Because it's like, well, can't play this just without doing all the online stuff. That's like half the fun. So...
half the fun, more like a fourth of the fun.
I mean,
it's totally not worth it. No.
It depends on what you're doing, because like the Covenant stuff was great. I enjoyed it, so good times.
Speaking of people who abandon others, ...
That doesn't count, because
I didn't even think we can talk about someone who got put in the book. That's what it's called, the book, because they did stuff. Yeah, you know what you did, RPG.
Hey, there's plenty of other people in the Book of the Guilty, not just me. So things happen, and some people deserve to get deaded. I have no control over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 4, they had the exclusively on PS3 and PS4. You get the character from Liberation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they announced? My stream crapped out at that point.
It's probably for the best. I mean,
now, is that like other missions, or is it just a skin for Edward?
Is that his name? Edward?
Yes, his name is Captain Edward.
That's so...
Wouldn't that be weird? Because it would be her face, but talking like Kenway.
So maybe it's like...
I don't know.
Isn't he married? Isn't the story about him and his wife or something? So it would...
Stop trying to make sense of all this. You're just gonna ruin it.
Can't be a skin. Oh, maybe it's multiplayer. Yeah.
Because everything has multiplayer now. So.
Like Watch Dogs, which they showed, and then they're like, PlayStation owners get exclusive outfit and an extra hour of gameplay.
An extra hour.
More content is good.
And then
it sucks.
And then there was the NBA 2K tech demo with LeBron James talking to himself, but it was a digital version of himself.
Digital LeBron is fatter.
He has a weird mouth.
He was like chubbier. Like, what's going on? Why is he chubby?
And then Elder Scrolls Online coming to PS4 spring 2014, exclusive beta on PS4.
Wow.
And then we got a world premiere of Mad Max the game from Avalanche Studios. PlayStation users will get exclusive Road Warrior Survival Kit with purchase of the game. No idea what's in that.
Stuff.
And then this part was everybody's favorite part, when Jack Trin came on stage And, he basically was like, let me pretend like I'm going to go to the bathroom here, and he's like, well, I'm not going to go through the motions. Like, I want to, but I want to keep it classy on Aimless Podcast. So he's all like, oh, the Xbox One DRM? We ain't got that. F those other people. And the crowd went, wow, it was amazing. And I was just like, wow, that was awesome.
It was crazy.
It's like, we're going to have used games. We're not going to have these DRM safeguards. You're going to be able to trade your games and let your friends borrow them. You don't need to be always connected online. And everyone crazy. Like, after every, like, he said, like, one thing, and, like, the crowd, like, keep cheering. Like, he said, like, one thing, and then, like, it just, like, was continuous applause. It was great. It was great. I loved it.
I saw Hip Hop Gamer jump up in the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, that's Hip Hop Gamer.
Yeah, and then like they try to be like Sony, and like nobody or like not a lot of people started doing that. But yeah, that's great. And then he announced the day one functionality for the PlayStation 4, so you can play as things are being downloaded in the background, cross-game voice chat, transition to a real-world friends network from your friends network that it's on the PlayStation Network, but they didn't like show the demo of that, so I'm not sure that's going to work.
That thing is interesting, because it seems like what they've been trying to do is turn people who are friends online into friends in real life.
Oh, that's cool.
Because, like, the thing that they released recently for Vita, the Toro's Friends Network, it's supposed to help you connect with people that you find on Nier. Which is, it's sort of a weird thing. Like, I guess it would be cool. Like, it is cool to know you guys beyond just being, names in Gap or names on my PS Friends list. So that's been really neat for me. But we also live in this culture where it's like, oh man, people on the internet are dangerous. So it's like, when I find people on Nier, it's like, do I really want to go find them? Because we live near each other. If things go bad, it will be bad.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
But then it's interesting to me that Sony is. It seems like that's what they're pushing for. It's like, yeah, we would like people to connect more with their friends, and these names on your friends list become your friends, and then you will have more fun playing games. Which is, it's true. Like, it is more fun to play with friends. So. It's just it seems like a very interesting thing. It's like, wow, this is one of their goals. They have to fight against our institutionalized fear of strangers online to make our gaming better. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this works out.
What's the worst that could happen?
And then they also was like share button. So yep, I'm sold. Share button works for day one, so I can totally buy my PS4 and use my share button day one and be like, look at my first share button video and annoy everybody with it. I don't care. F it. I mean, suck it. Whatever. PlayStation Plus membership will carry over, and then Drive Club, the what's it called edition?
PlayStation Plus edition.
PlayStation Plus edition available at launch for PlayStation Plus members. Your free game at launch. As well as the free-to-play games, because those are free too, just
Although I guess that could be a benefit of having Plus, though, because, I mean, they still have the whole free game library thing, so...
And on PS4, you get a new title every month on PS4 with PlayStation Plus.
That's pretty cool. It's really cool, because the system will be so new. I mean, numbers-wise, you get more on PS3, but... PS4, what's going to be out by month 2?
And by the end of the year, you got 12 games.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And then the world gameplay premiere of Destiny, and I'm just putting it out here now, anybody wants to be on my fire team, just shoot me a message, because I'll be playing that nonstop, and, like, leveling up my dude, and, like, all adventuring, RPG. Oh, this was so much fun to be had with my share button, and you, and me, and that didn't sound right, but
I just wanted to say, that didn't come out right at all.
It's like, just like in the demo when the guy let his friend die, he's like, oh, hold on, I'll revive you after I kill this boss. I would have totally revived RPG, like, right there, because that's what I do. I'm like, do this RPG.
I think I would grab the loot and then revive them.
Yeah, but in Destiny, it's like isn't it like it's a personalized loot screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't get your loot stolen. Like that one time, you guys blocked me while RPG got to the loot chest in Borderlands. I was like, hey. What's up with that?
I needed those guns. Just being selfish. So.
It's like, I don't have any reading weapons, and you totally took the only one I've seen. Whatever.
Kind of. It was really cool because I was not interested in Destiny at all before that gameplay demo. I sort of felt, Halo, Bungie, they were good at making fun. Like, I think they made a really fun sort of gameplay loop in Halo, and it's hard to make fun. So, I wasn't positive that, hey, just because they're Bungie, they're going to make another hit because their signature is that fun. And then when I saw it, I was like, I still don't really understand how the game works, but it felt like Borderlands, except if your party could be wandering around and run into another party of 4.
Yeah, or just like a massive
Surprise.
group.
Yeah.
That's the part that I liked. It's like you could have your own group, but then as you're going around, within the public space, and you come in contact with just random people, do they just jump in and jump out and just help you since they're in that space?
Yeah.
I've kind of always wanted a game like that because I assume that's how MMOs work, except they're a lot more repetitive and not awesome. But
funny.
Click.
Yeah, so I've always wanted a game like that where it's just you have a bunch of different mini groups or something, and it's everybody can kind of just run into each other or something, or kind of help that other group out or something. So I think that's kind of a cool thing.
It's funny. I like the banter during the gameplay in that one. In just stark contrast, it felt natural. Even though I saw the demo later and they were saying the exact same things, I was like, that's kind of dumb. But it was just that was a good performance because it felt real. And there were parts that was that is totally what we say when that happens. His partner got killed. He's like, no! RPG, no!
Basically, this gives you an idea of just how terrible of teammates these people are, by the way. Why I play games with you, I don't know. But seriously.
It was really funny. I was like, wow, that felt natural. Even though it was scripted, it didn't feel awkward like lots of these Skittles! High five! Fist bump!
It's we're totally a happy family, but not really.
Unleash the simulated family.
In next gen, they can do it for real.
Yeah.
Then after that, they're $399, and everybody's like, yes, because that was my magic number sweet spot, and they totally hit it. And I'm like, yep, day one, cannot wait.
So, who's pre-ordered?
I haven't yet because I have bills to pay. So.
Wow. So Gamer, me, and RPG have all pre-ordered.
I didn't actually pre-order. I was kidding. But,
you didn't? Oh, okay.
Because my plan is I plan to wait until 13 or I almost called it Versus 13, but until 15 release. It's gonna take some getting used to calling it that, but I'm probably gonna end up buying it when that happens, as opposed to just getting it ahead. Because I still have. For me, there's still a bunch of PS3 stuff that's still coming out for me and everything, so I don't want to have the PS4 and it's kind of just sitting there because I'm still playing all my PS3 stuff, and it's well, I could have just waited to get this, so I'm probably just gonna wait for a bit. But yeah,
it was funny because I was sitting on Facebook that night and it was just oh, it's up. Suddenly everyone's oh, pre-order.
Yeah, I saw that. I was I want to pre-order too, but I gotta double check my math on my financials.
And then people I want to do a midnight launch and wait in line, and that's really fun. And it's well, Amazon, you don't pay anything. It's oh, okay.
It's true. It's there.
The thing about Amazon now is you have to check whether or not you have a standard launch system.
Yeah. Well, everyone that night, I'm pretty sure is a launch.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
And then the day after, then that's when they put up the standard one. It's oh, they're exactly the same, except that one we can't guarantee will ship it out.
Whoops.
So it was, the last 20 minutes were pretty exciting. Destiny looked cool. The stuff they said was really cool. And the price was basically what we thought it would be.
Yeah, and since they were after Microsoft, like after the whole like we're not going to DRM you to death like Microsoft will, and then like they showed the price and like we're even cheaper. I was like, I was like, sorry Microsoft, they didn't have the dudes back on Team PlayStation. Yes. Well, I wasn't when I'm back, and I was like, well, hopefully it's new Starbucks. If not, I'm back on Team PlayStation. And we all know how that turned out. So,
yeah, I just wanted to say, it's like you're on Team PlayStation for a while, so you know, it was nice though to know that it wasn't that expensive. So and actually that's even because that would be launching even cheaper than the PS3 did, which is interesting considering
way cheaper than the PS3.
Yeah, so it's like which is kind of funny when because it's like $200 cheaper than your predecessor. It's like, huh.
It's like 2 years ago there were $400 PS3s.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I guess makes me wonder, like, why would you even get a Wii U?
Yeah, exactly.
Because a Wii U is $350.
Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we're getting tired, so we can immediately jump into this Nintendo thing, because I don't think we need to say anything. The thing was, like, their games are all coming out in 2014. Like, X looks really cool, and it looks kind of next-gen-ish. You know, it doesn't look current-gen like lots of the stuff on Wii U. That looks kind of cool, and Smash Brothers, I don't know. I still like to play them, even though I suck at it.
I'm over it.
But it's just like everything was like 2014. It's like, oh, these games we thought were going to come out in the summer. Well, they're not. They're delayed. So everything is now end of the year 2014, which means why would you buy the Wii U?
Yeah, it's like you might as well just wait until...
Especially when you see like the third-party games at E3 and like none of them are on Wii U.
Yeah, like this feels like the Dreamcast situation, where it was just Dreamcast.
They'll survive.
And it was
They'll
awesome.
survive.
Like the only first party this fall was the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, right?
No, they have the Donkey Kong one.
Oh, is that coming out as well? Oh.
Actually, I don't know if I took notes on Nintendo. I think I was that angry.
Yeah, like the thing was, well, when they announced Donkey Kong, it was like, okay, it's another Donkey Kong game, and it gave me the feeling of, you know, back in the day, everyone was making platformers. It's just like, oh, Mario's popular, and, you know, everyone made something. So, like, Earthworm Jim, and just, like, all these characters from the 90s that we don't really remember. That's what it feels like now with Nintendo. It's like, the only difference is they have characters that people like and know.
Or refuse to use them.
But it's just like, oh my God, they're just more platformers. Like, how many platformers can we play? And it's just very different now, because in the past, you get 1 or 2 Marios per console, and now we're just like getting tons and tons of Mario. Yeah. I think they're Guitar Heroing it. They're burning it out, and I don't know I don't know that they know what they should do. Like, this is what they think they should do. I don't know. I don't think this is the right course of action.
And I think they might. Well, they're probably like afraid to even try like to make like new mascot characters and stuff, because they're so, I guess, like tied to Mario and everything. It's like, well, do we want to take that risk? And it's like, it's a lot of work to try to make an iconic character again. It's like, everybody knows Mario. It's like, are we gonna have another Mario or something? So, I mean, I guess they're kind of like, they're at a very awkward point in their...
Yeah, they're in a really bad spot.
Yeah. They had this year, basically, was their chance. If they could prove that there was going to be neat stuff with the Wii U pad and just, like, anything, then, you know, I think they could have cruised along and just been, you know, not as popular as the Wii, but at least it wouldn't be this dismal situation that they're in right now. But, they just had nothing. It's like, oh, this isn't coming out. This isn't coming out. We thank you for your patience. Everything is coming out next year. And it's just like, well, you know, that's when you have competition again, suddenly.
Yeah, it's true. I was about to say, that's going to not
the
be
competition, we already know, outclasses you.
In so many ways. So, I don't know. It's just... And it's like, the stuff that they could have showed me to make me at least be interested, it's like, didn't even get mentions. And I'm like, well, you know, what's the point, Nintendo? You basically just don't want me to buy your console at this point, and I'm not going to. So, you win. And I hope you're happy. Because that's pretty much how that went. because like they just pretty much omitted Pikmin 3 again, and that got covered up by another Zelda game. So it's like I don't even know what to do with them. And then like they didn't, like some of the games they talked about in their Nintendo Directs didn't even make it into the conference either. So I feel like Nintendo just isn't even trying because they got so used to Wii being successful. So now they're like, well, how does marketing work again? We didn't have to we'd have to do that before. So it's like, how does that work?
we got such a free it's like we got such a free pass last year, and then we didn't have to talk even advertise.
It's
People
like
just bought it like hotcakes.
we could just put the name up there, and they're like, "Ooh, buy it!" So now they're just like, "How does this work?" We don't.
We were outselling our competition combined on a monthly basis, and we didn't have to try. So
well, it's been a while since I've had to try because look, N64 kind of a failure with third party. It's like it only had life within their first party. GameCube, yikes. You know,
I think they just wanted to forget about GameCube altogether. Like that never happened, guys.
I think that's what happened. Is like they got pushed into such a position that they had to do something drastic with motion controls, and they did, and it like worked to like lightning in a bottle style to like to follow that up.
It would, yeah. So now they're like,
yeah, that's true.
Now, guys. So
it's like how do you follow that?
Did they show anything 3DS related?
Pokemon.
And Smash Brothers 3DS.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that only half counts.
What the hell? They have nothing else for 3DS. Like, come on, what?
They're crazy.
Question.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, maybe they've just never been good at marketing. You know, like the NES got super popular because it was the only one in town, and then the Super Nintendo. Well, it follows the legacy, but by then they started to have some competition, and then yeah, exactly. And then you get to the next ones, more and more competition, and they just sort of died. And then the Wii, you know, now like maybe it was just a fluke. I mean, they brought in people. Well, it kind of makes sense though. Like people have been trying for decades to get this non-gaming audience to play games. And did Nintendo figure it out, or did they just accidentally get those people? And it was like, oh, we figured it out. Yay. And everyone was just like, how did they do that? And everyone else tried to do motion, and none of those took off. It's like, what happened? And so you get to Wii U, and they're like, yeah, we'll just do the same thing. We don't know what we did, but we'll just do the same thing. And then
hope for the best.
It's not working.
Okay, there was another 3DS game. It was the Yoshi's Island game.
I don't even remember seeing that.
Well, it was on the show floor. So it wasn't in the deluxe thingy.
Oh, okay.
It might have been, but I don't know if it was.
I don't know. I didn't play Yoshi's Island for Super Nintendo, so I can't really get excited. So.
Sure. I think I only played like the one on the DS that they had.
It's another one of their platformers.
Yeah, it's true. That's probably why. Platform fatigue. It's kind of like...
wait, they showed the Dream Team, right?
What? Dream Team?
Mario and Luigi?
They did
not during the Direct, no.
Oh, not during, okay.
Yeah. There was that crazy part where they said, wow, we never knew that people would draw stuff in Mii Universe, or Miiverse, so we're going to make more art tools for Miiverse. And that just struck me as it was the thing that they did in PlayStation Home, where it's just like, wow, they found that lots of people were just dancing. And I was like, wow, people really like dancing. So they did all those dance-themed spaces. And I think, it was a case of taking data and then just totally misinterpreting it. PlayStation Home, there was nothing else to do. That's what people were
exactly.
And it's not dancing. They just push a button and say, "Do this dance," and your avatar does it.
Walk away from the controller.
You can walk away.
But you know how exciting that was when I built a train? Oh my god, I was ecstatic. Like, this is actually happening in real time.
It was just
but it's like it takes away sort of like what made Miiverse art awesome. Look, if you add more tools, like it sort of makes it less cool because you found it. It's like a parent saying, Oh, you're drinking some? Give me a beer. I don't want to drink with you, Dad.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that's what it is. It's like it's cool because the tools are limited, and it's like, wow, that is amazing what you're able to do on this thing that was meant for like whiteboard messages.
Yeah. And pick up the boat.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I have nothing good to say about Nintendo, so I'm not saying
yeah,
anything.
it's like the three conferences, Microsoft doesn't know what they're doing anymore. Nintendo maybe never knew what they're doing.
How this happened?
And
like
Sony was
scrambling.
really boring, but it was like the message was good.
Yeah.
It's like the return, yes.
That's gonna be pretty crazy.
Is there ever a chance any of you guys are gonna pick up the Xbox One?
No, well, only, I'm not going to say because I don't want Microsoft to do it. There's like one thing, and you know what it is. So, yeah.
What?
It's that thing, you know.
I don't know.
Kill Gears of War?
Oh, I will say it during the break thing because I don't want them to.
You don't want them to take
well,
it
actually, with
and do it?
Prism, they own Skype. They could be
They
monitoring
could monitor
me.
you anyway. Yeah.
Oh dear.
They're watching it
Well.
right now. Oh, that's why
No
you to
time.
say it. Oh, wait, but even in the break, they'd be able to hear it.
It's like we still know.
Well, so for me, I mean, I'm sure eventually at some point there might be a game that I'll be interested in. But the thing is, I feel like this is a chance. You know, I've never seen so many, like, such a large portion of the gamer population get behind one idea. You know, usually it will seem like it, but actually it's, like, pretty evenly divided. For example, like, paying for online play. You know, like, I hear lots of people like, yeah, Xbox Live doesn't make any sense, and, you know, why do we continue to play it? But then there's also a ton of people who are just like, yeah, like, I like to pay for it, and I think it does this for me, even though, you know, the argument can go back and forth, but basically, it feels pretty evenly split. With the online check-in thing, which is, that's basically online DRM, it seems like a lot more people are against it than there are for it. And I'm not even, again, I feel like the people who are for it aren't thinking it through. So anyway, yeah, because of this situation, it feels like this is a chance where we can, you know, like we always should have been able to do, we can change policy, I guess, on games. If we don't buy the Xbox One. Because, you know, like, the way that Sony is going to move into the future, it seems like, you know, with not restricting lending, like, that was the big thing for me. You know, used games, I am totally fine with publishers trying to get money out of GameStop. I just don't want their efforts to sort of infringe on what we can already do with games.
Yeah, I agree.
So the lending thing was the biggest thing for me. Is like suddenly, you know, it seems like what's happening is like, okay, you're saying you can only trade games in at participating retailers, so you can no longer lend games to each other. And, you know, to me, that was like, okay, so what you're saying is you said it was to fight used games, but now you're getting benefit because you get some of the used games cut, and GameStop gets the benefit because obviously they're going to be the participating retailer. So both of you win. Meanwhile, me, the consumer, we lose. Like, that's the part that doesn't sit right with me. And I feel like if we take a stand, you know, if we make a stand and just say, no, this is how far you can go, but no farther, you know, that sort of would set precedents in the future. You know, when we do go all digital, you know, a lot of people think like we're kind of at the mercy of publishers and like platform holders. Like, you know, whatever they say, we will have to follow. I don't think that's the case. I think if they do enough, there will be a point where it's like no one will want to follow it, and then suddenly, you know, they're gone. Like that's kind of how business works. Like it's a negotiation. Like, how far are we willing to go? And so I think at this point, we're sort of showing them this is how far we'll go. So when we go digital, like, I expect, if we make the message clear, I expect that digital doesn't have to be the way it is today. You know, Steam, great as it is, it's mostly because of the discounts. You know, there actually are a lot of parts that suck about Steam. Lending games, you know, you used to be able to do that with PC games, now you can't. And so, you know, in the future, if we go with PS4, I feel like they will look at that and be like, okay, you know, this is something that consumers value. How do we get this in the digital format? You know, how do we enable lending in the digital world? And I think, yeah, so there's a lot of things right now where we can show this is how far we're going to go. So when you go digital, you know, you have this baseline, and then we work from there. And it's not going to be all one-sided. They dictate everything, and then we just have to take it because we want to play their games. So yeah, like, I don't want to buy Xbox One mostly based on that principle. I hope that this sends the message. You know, I do hope that Xbox One fails. And, you know, that's why, like, I don't want the future to just be more and more what they say goes. I think that, you know, that's how we, I don't know, consumers feel like we have no power, but we do have power. And so this is part of that.
I agree.
Baseline.
I know. I was just about to say, like, wait, are we getting soundtracks now? What's happening? But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, because I don't feel like I'm gonna buy an Xbox One, at least like not anytime soon. Because it'll probably be, if I do, it'll probably be like way down the line once it's like super cheap or something, or if I like win another one or something like that. But it's like,
yeah.
But it's like I feel like. Yeah, I think I pretty much just share tropical sentiments with the whole Microsoft thing and their policies and what. So I'm just, I don't know.
Like, if lots of people who compare it, they say, you know, look at Steam. People are fine with Steam, so we should be fine with it on Xbox One. But, you know, you're forgetting the point that Steam was also built by people, and it's only one model. It's sort of the de facto model, but that's because they were kind of first. And, you know, this is a chance for us to say there are parts that we like, but, you know, there are parts that we would want better. You know, this does not have to be the model for digital distribution in the future.
Plus, Steam has competition. Like,
yeah,
I buy my stuff all the time from Green Man Gaming.
Good old games, yes, old games.
Yeah.
No DRM.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
And even like Green Man Gaming has trade-ins, apparently.
Well, with non-Steam games.
Oh, okay.
So something like, so yes, even something, it has to be something that doesn't use Uplay or Origin or Steam. Those are the games you can trade in.
So no DRM games.
But
so The Witcher 2.
Yes, yeah, that. For me, it's like, I still have my pre-order for Xbox One, like, in, but it's like, I could cancel anytime, so it's like, no problem. But it's like, because let's say I do keep it, I'm only gonna buy the system to keep games digital. Like, I'm not gonna, I'll treat it like a Steam-like service. That's the only reason why, if I were to buy one, I would keep it that way. Because I don't lend games. I don't, but I do sell games. So that's another thing. So like, I have like, let's say a triple dip or something stupid. I sold all those games, like the Xbox versions of those games, to eBay, and I made money. I can't do that anymore with Xbox One. So like, my thinking is like, I will wait for games to become like $40, like what they do become on Steam. And that's when I'll buy. I'm not gonna spend $60 on it. There's no freaking way.
Yeah, I think personally, you know, the Xbox One, except for the TV stuff, Xbox One works fine in my entertainment setup. Like, I have internet. I'm always connected, basically. I don't really trade games in. I don't really lend them to people. But on the other hand, shouldn't we be able to keep those things? And so it's
because there are people who do that
right,
stuff.
I often talk about how a lot of people don't think about these things as individual consumers. They always think about how other people will do stuff. And usually I'm on the side that's like, well, you should just pick for yourself. But in this case, I feel like there's enough like momentum. Like, we could change things here if we make a stand. So personally, I'm okay with it, just because of my circumstance. But I don't think we should expect everyone to have my circumstance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for me, it's just a matter of, like, the software, where it's, like, the multi-platforms, I can get them on PC or PS3, PS4, whatever. So it's like, if I can get the multi-platforms anywhere, then what's left is exclusives, and Sony's got me covered, because
they have a much better first party from what it seems.
It's like this whole generation, they've just been hit after hit after hit, so I can just enjoy the ride while they're making awesome exclusives and be like, haha, suck at Xbox One, it's just these games, and the games that are on there, and like, they might get eventually ported to PC, or who knows when, so, whatever.
Like, the only game I want on Xbox One right now is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, which is going to be on PC.
I just want to say
that's close.
That looked really good.
Yeah, that looks really fun.
Like anime.
It's like the opposite of the situation of like Xbox One and PS2, where it's like there's a bunch of Xbox One games that came to Xbox One just because like it was graphically up to par and could run them, and like it didn't come to PS2 because of that. But like this way, like the way it is now, it's like it's coming to both, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's like I highly doubt there's going to be a large number of exclusives, but we all know nobody's making money or not a lot of money from games now, so it's like that's not going to happen very often. So
I was confused with that statement because you said Xbox One. I was like, which Xbox One?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, seriously.
I mean the Duke.
That is a terrible name. Oh my god.
They just call the new one Xboned.
Xboned.
I don't like that name.
Xbone. That's what they called it.
That's the only way to differentiate. It's like between. Yeah. Oh my god, it was
stupid.
Just
a stupid idea.
Stupid.
Yeah. Xbox One and Xbone. Although I like the Duke. The Duke and Xbone.
Yeah. It amuses me.
I was saying we should make like an epic poem about it because it has all the elements. It's got the legendary 15, the mystical power of the cloud. Xbone could be some sort of relic.
That is great.
Why didn't they call it Xbox Cloud? Or call it Xbox Thunder or something stupid.
Xbox Thunder. I was okay with like the Xbox Infinity rumored name when they were doing, because it's like, okay, I can work with this since like 360 is a circle, and that's kind of like. But that's but then this Xbox One thing, just like this is just so stupid on so many levels. I just don't know what was going through their head. Are they like rebooting the console brand or something? And because reboots are apparently like really popular now. But
if you were rebooting it, they would just be calling it.
I could just call it Xbox. Yeah, but then people will still be confusing them because it's like the Xbox and the Xbox. The original one didn't have a subtitle either. People just called it the Xbox One because the 360 existed. So now they kind of can't, because now Xbox One actually does exist as a name. So that's Yeah, they should have just went with Durango or something, like their code name or something. Just call it a day. Like the car.
I mean, the thing is, what is it? It's supposed to be not for all-in-one, but input one.
That was dumb.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's not receiver.
Yeah, but like the receiver is input one.
You're only inputting TV. Why does it make it input one?
Yeah, they can't even call it an all-in-one device because it doesn't. It only does receiver stuff. It doesn't, or I guess it does games too. So two things.
Sometimes.
But it's not a screen. It doesn't have surround sound control. It doesn't control your stereo or whatever. It's like, how is this an all-in-one device?
Alright, well, I guess we're done talking about the Sony event and or Nintendo event. We can come back after this and talk about third parties and other stuff. Yeah. Alright, we're back, and we're going to talk about third parties now, and what we saw at the EA and Ubisoft conference that we liked, and then after that, we'll talk about stuff that we saw from live shows or people reporting from E3, and we're like, oh, that looks pretty cool. So we'll start with EA, because they went first, and from there, Mirror's Edge 2, and that's the only thing I saw. I was like, oh, Faith is back.
Oh, it's the only thing you saw.
Actually, it's Mirror's Edge. It's not Mirror's Edge 2. It's a reboot.
Yeah, because it's a reboot, which I thought was weird. I'm like, you only had one game. How do you reboot a series that isn't technically a series yet? Because you only have the one game. So that is just strange, but whatever. Maybe they're trying to reach a wider audience, like Microsoft. Trying to get back out there, or pretend like the first one never happened, even though people actually liked it, which is weird. So I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
I hope they add co-op or something, or make it really awesome. I don't know. It's already awesome, but just like
make it awesome.
Yes.
From that one, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, I'm pretty excited for because it looked really good, and it reminded me of Dungeon Defenders, actually. It's sort of a action-style tower defense game. So I was like, okay, this seems pretty fun, and 4-player co-op, yeah, that's really good. Yeah. The other thing, I'm into the NBA games, actually. And while their presentation didn't wow me, some of the ideas I thought were really neat. Where, I think, was it soccer? I think soccer was the first one to do it, where before, the ball is part of your character whenever you have the ball. Mm-hmm. And yeah, at one point, I think it was Pro Evolution that did it first. They untethered the ball from the player. So the ball was running totally on its own physics, and the player models just had to collide with it to make it move. And it's like, oh, that made it more like real soccer. And so they're doing that with the new NBA Live on Next Gen. But that's all they said. So I saw what it was like in Pro Evolution, and it's like, that was really cool. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play in.
How does that work in the NBA game, though?
Because, soccer is different because the ball's on the ground always.
Yeah, I was just about to say, and they're you're dribbling the ball along. I'm not sure it's the same type of.
I'm curious to know, how is this going to work? Is it going to feel like dribbling because you have to be doing something in order to dribble the ball? That would be pretty cool, actually. I don't know how you would
the worst
shooting and all that.
I'm thinking of the worst cases where it's when you steal in basketball games, it's just numbers based. Can this guy steal the ball? But this one, if it's if there's a hand that goes in front of the ball will touch the hand. And it's going to come out of his rhythm. Is it going to happen every time I'm going to go for the steal? It's if I just time it perfectly, I'm going to get a steal 100% of the time. Because my hand will just break the rhythm of the ball.
It would make sense if it did work that way, though.
But yeah, that's kind of how it is in real life. If I was 100% accurate, I could always get a steal. Well, I could always knock the ball away. You don't necessarily.
Yeah, I was about to say you might not.
But I can imagine some situations it would make playing the game infinitely harder, but it might actually be more rewarding as an experience.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that's going to be like.
It's is passing the ball going to be really difficult?
Yeah, that needs to be super accurate. You can't just aim at a player and hope for the best. Go here we go. You better be in the victory there. That would be interesting to see.
It was funny. I liked Elite. Like, when that demo came out, I played that demo so much. I was like, wow, I love ball handling like this. It just feels... It's sort of that feeling I get when I play Batman Arkham Asylum. You know, you're not actually doing a lot of stuff, but it feels like you're very skilled. And that's what Elite felt like when you're doing the ball handling and, like, driving and things like that. I was like, oh, this feels really cool. Like, I can't do these things in real life, but I understand them. And so being able to do it virtually, like, that's the dream of virtual sports. We can potentially do all these things. We just can't. RPG gamer? EA? Or RPG, did you even watch EA?
I only vaguely glossed over it. I didn't see a lot of the third party stuff. Like I said, I've been busy for these
Dragon
past few
Age
days or whatever.
but meet your fancy.
Nah, I've played. I don't know what it is about the Dragon Age series. It's I've played them or attempted to, and it's always I'll get to a point where I'm just yeah, I don't really care anymore. Why am I playing this? So it's always the same with the Dragon Age games. So it's I don't even know why I keep buying them, because what, which one has to call that into question in the first place? But hey, yeah, I think I'm kind of over it at this point. I'm just okay, I've fallen into the trap enough times to know it's okay, I'm not buying this Dragon Age game again. So yeah.
I like Battlefield 4 multiplayer. That was amazing.
Oh, that's the other thing from this E3. I know we've mentioned it in past E3s, but just stop showing multiplayer and people playing multiplayer. It's just so boring.
When they revealed that, I was like, how long have those people been back there? Have they been back here the whole time?
Hours. It's they didn't feed us.
Apparently Peter Moore was back there.
Playing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're like, oh, really? How'd you do it? He's like, well, they told me to just lay low and follow the commander guy, so I was hiding under a tank, and I was kind of shooting. I did okay.
Well, it was obvious that the squad was invincible because none of them went down. So it's just to show the game. But it's I'm thinking, if they could bring that building down, does it apply to any building in the map?
I don't think so. I think it's a set piece thing.
Oh man, that is disappointing. Then it's similar to what Uncharted 2 did and what Ghost is doing with the dynamic maps, right?
Yeah.
That was disappointing. But I like the one where they shot at the pillar and made the tank drop. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But will that happen with every pillar? I don't know. Oh, it's disappointing. Bring back Red Faction style.
Yeah.
Let me do anything. Blow up the world. I don't give a shit. Yeah, but it was interesting. I like the dynamic gameplay. Even though, man, the game visually, it didn't impress me. Because it just looks like Battlefield 3.
Mm.
It didn't look any more impressive than that. So
Did you
like
notice,
Call of Duty syndrome?
Frostbite is starting to look the same on stuff. If you look at the sky in Need for Speed Rivals, it looks exactly like Battlefield. The landscape looks like Battlefield. I was like, huh.
Maybe they all take place in the same universe.
Yeah, I will say briefly, Drive Club looks very unique. It looks like real photography, whereas Forza looks sort of hyper realistic, and Need for Speed Rivals looks like Battlefield. Anyway.
Yes.
Did everybody go on that?
Yeah.
All right, and then Ubisoft, The Division. Oh man, that game is okay.
Man.
We had an episode where we talked about our dream game, and this is basically that game because I was third person, open world co-op with a cover system and all this other crap. And I was it's never gonna happen. Okay, the one thing that is different in this one is that it's open world, but it's also MMO style where other people are coming into your game. So I'm not sure how I feel about that because it's PvP and it's But just the fact that you can co-op in a squad and third person and an open world that's persistent, that was pretty cool.
But PvP stuff kind of makes things interesting. So, I mean, I guess it may depend on the game, but sometimes it kind of adds like that extra fun to it. Because I mean, like with games like Dark Souls and stuff, you have people who willingly accept duels and stuff because it's like it adds that, I guess, that extra thing to the game. It's like you don't always get if you just play like co-op and stuff. It's like you can still play co-op, but you also have that people invading your game, or you could forcibly bring somebody in there, or you just get forcibly sent there by one of your covenants or something. So it's like, I guess just that aspect I'm okay with, but I don't know. It's
That's because you win.
Well, yeah.
When people invade you, you kill them. Other people get invaded and die.
Maybe they shouldn't suck.
But no, it was interesting. Like, yeah, The Division is what I predicted The Last of Us's multiplayer would be.
Oh, yeah.
It turned out it was not. Because, actually, yeah, now thinking about it, that would have been pretty hard to pull off. So, that's...
It would have to look like a PS2 game or something.
Or they could have done it, it would just be like one map. And, like, it's like 8 players on one gigantic map. And you're just, like, scrounging around. It's like, oh my gosh, there's infected in here. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's the other team.
I think it's when developers saw what DayZ did. It's like having this big map, and there's, like, these small clusters of people around.
I know, because, like, when they're in the demo and they look across the bridge, they're like, oh, it's Manhattan, we can go there. I was like, oh my god! That's, like, the first thing I'm going to do is, like, cross Manhattan Bridge and be like, oh, man!
Well, what if there's a sniper there perched?
I know, right?
It's like, whoever crosses this bridge is mine.
Man, see, hopefully you can turn PvP off. Right?
No, but see, that
can
ruin
the fun.
That's that lure, man.
It sucks.
I don't want to be abused.
You won't be abused, just don't suck. And
don't
walk in the
don't
trash.
cross the bridge.
See, that actually, well, I guess actually that would like work to the like effect of the game since it would just be like survival after like society collapses like 5 days after.
Yeah, you know.
Everybody will be like, I don't trust you, but I'll group up with you until we get to this point, and then I'm leaving you or something.
Yeah, because I mean, you could still have your allies and stuff. It's not like you just be alone and just getting attacked by everything that moves or anything. So it's not. You have to stop looking at just assuming that it's just going to be all PvP and realize there will be people playing to, you know, group up and enjoy the game and stuff. So,
you know, that's going to be really interesting. Like, you brought up DayZ. Like, what if DayZ is that sort of next evolution in multiplayer? Because, like, you know, the reason Call of Duty was, or Modern Warfare 1 was? Call of Duty 4. Yeah, like, the reason that was so popular, I think, was because it had that persistence. Where it was like, oh, you're leveling up, you get these perks, you get these different weapons and things like that. What if, like, the next persistence hook is just, like, equipment? And so you can have these sort of games where it's like, oh, you're scrounging for supplies and equipment, and when you log off, you know, you keep all that stuff. I guess DayZ is even harsher, where it's like, if you log off, your guy is just sitting there.
Yeah, just waiting to be killed or something. Yeah.
But it's like, that would be cool if it's not like perks and experience. It's what you found. Those are the things that are going to be driving you to play every day.
Yeah, and it was drop in, drop out, because like that one person joined him, and then he left with like the drone or whatever. So.
Oh, but he was using a goddamn tablet.
Oh.
I was like, give me a break. Stop it, developers, with this tablet add-on crap.
You know, it's funny, if that is the case, that means that Xbox Smart Glass is just another like marketing thing, because apparently any developer can do it on a tablet if they want to.
Or, you know what, let me not shit on this idea. What if I could use my Vita?
Yes.
That would be great. Oh, you know what's fun? Oh, that'll be, I'll talk about it later on. But yeah, The Division. You know, I like it, but I feel like I'm just being deceived. Because Watch Dogs, when they first showed it, looked good. But then when they showed gameplay, like later on when it's actually being developed, it doesn't look as good or what the scope is when they showed it first time they showed it. It's like, oh,
well, that's because you've probably seen it so much now, and just like the hype kind of died down after you've already seen it so much. And it's like, okay, I get it, Watch Dogs. I have an idea of what you're supposed to be like, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I didn't pick one, but yeah, in addition to the Division, the crew looked really interesting to me. I'm not really sure how it works, but somehow you can race all of North America? Is that
That's
what it
the
was?
one thing I thought was cool, is just like the map is ridiculous. It says
Yeah.
here in this state, and meanwhile, your person from your crew is in this state.
Relay race.
That part kind of reminded me of Destiny also, where it's just like people are out there in the world. It's like an MMO race car game with clearly inspired after Fast and Furious. Like, oh, we have bank heists and stuff like that too.
It's like, these people don't actually do these things, guys, by the way.
Well, Test Drive Unlimited was like that. You'd like be in the game,
everyone's
and then like
around in the world.
yeah, it was like populated by other players. That was pretty cool. But Watch Dogs was my number 2, but I don't really care about talking about it because you probably know what I'm going to say. It's like, oh, GTA, but not. And you can hack with a cell phone and
Drive cars.
be all stealthy and go behind someone and choke them out. Yeah. Can't get enough of that. Oh, actually, shot a dude in the face this time. I was like, oh my. So there's still the shooting.
Division is a Tom Clancy game. That was interesting.
Well, they bought
Well,
the
they own his name.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so, the way that fits into the
that universe.
yeah, like Tom Clancy games seem to be all in the same universe.
Yeah, as opposed to something like that, yeah. Well, maybe they'll make some kind of weird tie-in to it or something.
But like the only thing that like bugged me is like, okay, these are a special group of people, special forces or whatever, but where is everyone else? Like you're finding other special forces people.
Yes. They're
That's
the
weird.
only ones who survived. Well, is it though? I mean, if
Unless you're
anybody's
choosing-
gonna
unless you're
survive, it'd be
choosing-
all of
Unless you're choosing sides, like you're choosing the rebellion or something. I don't know. That was a weird thing.
Oh,
anybody was gonna survive would be all the trained people. So
it reminds me of there was a lot of like Twitter chatter during the Division reveal because they started off with that sort of scare scenario where it's like a virus infects some paper money on Black Friday and kills everyone. Like people were tweeting online, like some people were saying that, wow, this is Ubisoft's plan to market their games. Basically scare everyone into staying at home so that they play more games. And then Amazon was actually tweeting and saying, it's like, hey, if you don't want to catch that virus, you can shop at home on Amazon.
yeah, right.
It was like free
Way to
vaccine,
capitalize.
Amazon Prime. It was so funny.
Gamer RPG, anything to add there?
Not really.
South
It's
Park.
like, I am so I was so disappointed. No, still in release date.
Yeah.
What are they thinking? What are they thinking? Oh my god!
Wait, for what?
South Park.
The game has been like shown like 2 years now, and we still don't have a release date. It was supposed to be being released in May,
I think it was like a
Yep.
while ago, wasn't it?
and then we still have nothing. And we haven't still seen any game. Is that one of the live shows? I haven't seen any gameplay for that game. Nothing.
Well, I think it's another one of those games where it's just like, is that cinematics or is that gameplay? Apparently
Yeah,
that's what the
just
game
like
looked like.
The cartoon.
Like when you
or
play it, that's what it
something.
looks like.
Yeah, but I have to see someone playing it.
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's like I just want to see someone playing it, and I'm satisfied. It's like I've seen like what looks like the show, but it's like what is gameplay? And they showed it to the two judges.
Yeah.
They showed gameplay to it. They showed it. And that's why there was a hilarious news thing where they had to remove the carbon farting fire thing because it's not rated by the ERCB or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because they don't. ESRB doesn't need to rate periodical stuff. Only marketing stuff.
Yeah, it's nice that it's coming out this fall, whenever it's coming out. Better be coming out before PS4 comes out, so. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, then Ubisoft gets my Missing in Action award for Rainbow Six Patriots. What the F, where is it? Because,
I just saw a story about that, actually. Apparently.
Looks good, and I guess it's next gen, so at least there's that.
They did confirm that much, at least, too. So.
They pulled a Final Fantasy Versus 13.
Maybe that's going to be the new thing, because we still haven't seen the last Guardian, and...
Rainbow 7.
PS4 is going to be out, so...
Agent, what's up with that?
It's a PS4 title as well. Everything's just getting ported over. It's just like,
It is now. So did everybody go on Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Alright, so my 2 games that I saw, I haven't seen Thief yet, but whatever. Arkham Origins just because I was worried, and it looks exactly, well, not exactly the same, but same enough where it's like, okay, so it looks awesome.
Oh,
and it has
I called it.
Like,
you know that I was talking about the Deathstroke trailer, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool if like the boss fight with Deathstroke is like you can counter, but he can like counter, and it would just be sort of like a back and forth,
counter
just like in the
battle.
trailer. And then they showed the martial artist enemy type, which is exactly like that. So yeah, I imagine Deathstroke is gonna be that, but more. And you have to.
Yeah, I like how they
like
added
a super version of it or something.
I like how they added the different enemy types and how they're like rated.
Yeah.
I will only take on like the hardest ones all the time, just level up faster. And because I know I can win, it's like, oh, I'm Batman. Yes, I am, and you're about to find out why.
Looks so good.
And then the Bureau XCOM Declassified, just because it looks like Mass Effect, but it's not. So close enough, and I'm gonna need my fix.
It really looks like Mass Effect, especially like the wheel and all that.
Yeah. Except it's only humans, so whatever.
Mass Effect 1? Did the other ones have the wheel? Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah. Well, kind of, anyway.
Oh, and it has permadeath again, so it's like I can be all like, no, and like you can name your people, so I can like name them all after your Aimless podcast and be like, RPG, why?
Great, I just love the figures. Even in fiction. Worst teammates ever. I still need to get the first XCOM, or not the first one, but the
Well, if you had PlayStation Plus, you could get it for free right now in the store.
I still have my files for that. I should probably just use those and play
You get a free trial on home.
Yeah, if you go into home and get PlayStation Plus there at the E3 booth.
But then I have to go to home. Ugh.
Did you get it working, Gamer?
Yeah, it worked today.
Okay, yeah.
It was cool because it was instant. But before it was like loading code. Like, oh shit.
It was so broken last night. You have to do these sort of menial fetch quests and like retail style quizzes and stuff like that. But it's pretty quick to get up to the PlayStation Plus code part, and then if you care about dynamic themes, you can keep going. If you care about the Killzone Mercenaries beta, you can keep going. But yeah, I did eventually go through all of them, but initially I was just like, PlayStation Plus, okay, I'm done.
But you're already a subscriber, aren't you? So that doesn't...
It adds a month.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, that is big since you're already subscribed to them.
I had to do those things twice, because first time I did everything, and it wouldn't load, so I thought, oh, the game will just save it, right? I exited, and I went back in and start from step 1. But now they added so that you could go back to the space.
That's how broken it was.
Yeah.
Because you messaged me, I was like, oh man, did you go through all of them?
I was so pissed. I was like, I spent an hour,
like an hour,
answering, like going through the pictures, writing down not writing down, but like memorizing the answers, not memorizing the answers, but like figuring out what the answer was.
Yeah.
Like, okay, go back here, go back to the quest booth, answer the questions. Some of the questions are so stupid. Like, release date for this game is, and every answer is the same answer. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're making it easy for me.
Maybe they were trying to help you out there.
Yeah, like the quizzes, the one of the things you have to do is like these fetch quests.
Yeah,
And
find the
by
keys.
the end, they just weren't even trying anymore. It's like, 3 in a row. And you just run up, boo, boo, boo.
But it's interesting that they're able to get they were able to use a 6-axis in the key quests, like when you open the chest. Like, wow, they could actually do that. That's crazy.
Yep.
You know what I like about Home is how crazy the people, like their get up.
Yeah.
There was one dude who was a move controller with no
I
feet.
have that one.
Oh my
I have
God.
that one.
I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
Oh, one I saw today, there was a guy riding a flaming horse. It looked super awesome. And then there was another guy who was an Atari 2600. It was like his hands were like those paddles. And then his body was just like a floating console. And then his head was like a cartridge. And it was all connected with like wires and stuff. Like, wow. Man, how did we get there? What was I talking about?
Yeah. I was just about to say, where did we even go? Oh, yeah, because the XCOM thing, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was free with Plus, and then,
Free XCOM. Oh, man, 2 third-party other than Batman, which, I was kind of worried about it. And, I think the whole day, yesterday and today, I was just going through this frustration. It's like, how come they're not showing gameplay demos? Like, this sucks. We're just watching the trailers that we saw earlier while the guy talks about it. And yes, I like to know stuff, but come on. The games are there. I know they're there. Just show them. And so when I saw like the full playthrough of the demo of Arkham Origins, I was like, dude, that is cool. Okay, I'm on board. I guess Saints Row 4, I'm more excited now.
that game looks insane.
Yeah, that game looks crazy. Super powerful.
Storyline is crazy as well. It's like everybody gets captured by aliens, and then you're in an AI construct. It's like, what? Then you get superpowers.
So that looks really good. Come back. I can't think of one. Go on.
Gamer
What's first?
RPG.
I don't know. I haven't seen like a lot of gameplay from anything, so I'm not like, I don't know. And I guess E3 is still technically going on, so I just, Although
I think
Payday,
you have to watch Final Fantasy 15 gameplay, then you could say that's on your list.
I haven't
It
seen
looks
that
fucking
yet.
amazing, yeah.
I did get a chance to play Payday 2, the heist, though, when I was at the convention center today, which was kind of funny because when we were playing, like, we were using the tools again, and the drill, like, froze, and I was like, son of a bitch, they're still doing this? So that's still a thing, guys, by the way. So, we still have shoddy equipment, but I think they changed some stuff where I think you can have like, more than one, like, tool and stuff now, as opposed to, like, the first one, I think, where you could only have the one, or carry the one thing at a time or something, or whatever, but yeah, that was nice. It looked pretty, but it was also running on a PC, so that's probably why, but...
You were
So your mission was a success?
More or less. I mean, I didn't get to, like, do any of, like, the cool media stuff, because they obviously had most of that stuff, like, checkpointed off for... It's like, okay, it's like only...
Wait, so how did you get there?
Polygon or something from here.
Yes,
well, I mean,
it's just your E3.
they still had. I mean, they still have like stuff open to the public at E3. They just don't let you like. They don't have like the entire thing open. So like some of the companies have like
the first 10 feet.
Well, no, because you can go inside the convention center, and they still have like some booths set up inside there. They also had some set out outside, like because the Ouya one was like across the street from the convention center for some reason, and
they're
there was
not
like
actually part of E3.
Yeah.
They aren't. Oh, okay. Because I just wanted to say, because when I saw it, I was like, "That's weird. That's not
actually
the
kind of
convention
a
center at
feud
all."
going on, apparently.
Is it really?
Yeah. Like, apparently E3, like the ESA, called the cops on Ouya.
That might explain a lot, actually, then. Because I was walking past and I was like, why are they all the way over here? The convention center is all the way over there. So that was weird. But, yeah, I also played, like, some of the tablet stuff, because I think there was, like, some I don't know what the company's called or what it was or whatever, but it's like some Snapdragon presentation that they had, and next to it they had, like, a bunch of demos that were running on, like, tablets hooked up to, like, TV screen and stuff. So I played like Rayman and some other crap they had out there and stuff. So it was, I mean, they have like different stuff available to people for just like who are just like roaming around or something. But I mean, obviously you didn't get like the entire experience unless you were like a part of the press there. So that kind of sucks. But,
sorry, but you're still able to look at the booths and all that, or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, like the stuff. It's like, yeah, because it's like sectioned off or something. It's, yeah, they had like I said, they had like a checkpoint, so you couldn't like
You couldn't
get
cross
in
the DMZ into gaming nirvana.
Yeah,
Well,
unfortunately,
I
no.
saw you had a picture of where GT Academy was taking place.
Oh yeah, they had a booth out there too. It was like on the side in front of the convention center, and they were like letting people do the demos in like one of those arcade machine looking things. So that was there too, and I think like one of the GT6 cars or something they were trying to show off there was there as well. So yeah, that was there. But yeah, it was nice. I got a couple of little trinkets and stuff. So it was
Swag.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to steal somebody else's bag because one guy had like this SMT-4 one. I was like, oh my god, I'm totally gonna mug you right now. You don't even know. But yeah. But I also saw some people from Atlas too because they came to the truck and whatever. So I was like, oh my god, you guys are like my favorite company ever. I want to marry you all. But it was nice. One day we'll all get to go in there, and be all reporting and stuff from there. It'd be nice. And I guess Bethesda was there too, since we were doing the thing next to their booth as well. So I didn't want to tell them that I didn't like the Elder Scrolls though, because. Yeah. That would have been awkward. Actually, they made, like, because two of the people that were working with me, they were wearing, like, the Payday mask that we got from the Payday booth. And
Wow.
the one of the executives was, like, freaking out because they were like, that's from a different game. You're not allowed to, be wearing it around. So I was like, oh, God, they're going to get us all, like, kicked out of here or something. So, that was honestly. But, yeah. It was a cool experience anyway, from what I could see and do. So, yeah.
Neat.
Did you give your 2 games, Gamer?
I haven't seen much of third parties. The only thing I saw was Killzone. Man, that gameplay demo, holy shit! In the forest.
I haven't seen that one.
It was how it's open and how you could tackle objectives any manner you want. It's like, oh my god, are we in GoldenEye, back in GoldenEye era mission design? It's amazing. Man, that game looks good.
Cool.
Love it.
Yeah, I read something about that one, and it mentioned that part. It's like, oh, so maybe it's gonna be actually kind of interesting. Like maybe this is the best Killzone. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it seems like everyone was showing the same third-party games.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you have stuck with one channel, you're good to go.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the only thing, like, yeah, Batman is just like, oh, I remember that one really well. I remember, like, the Beyond playthrough was really interesting. It's like, this is totally different from Heavy Rain. It's like cover shooting and like stealth.
What?
And it was just like, yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder
That is
if you get to kill that trainer dude because he seemed like an asshole. Here's
So the trailer was weird because it's completely different. And I was
Yeah,
like, okay.
it wasn't what I was
Yeah,
expecting at all. Cause it was like, why is she joining some academy thing and becoming a soldier and stuff? And like, that's not what the first trailer showed at all.
I think
So-
Beyond is going to be really cool. Yeah, like the first trailer was sort of, it was like really actiony stuff, but you could kind of see how it would be played like Heavy Rain. And then there was the Tribeca film festival thing with the homeless stuff, and it was just like it seemed.
Well, isn't it like supposed to take place over a long period of time though?
yeah, her entire life.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
you
yeah.
That's what it is
wouldn't
then.
expect it to have sort of these very actiony, like
Yeah.
shooter parts. It was like when I saw the one at E3, it's like, what? There's actual like gamey game stuff in here. It is, yeah, man. When that game comes out, it's gonna be crazy.
It's supposed to be it's this year, right?
Yep,
or
yep,
fall or
yep.
something. So.
Part of the. Wait, no, is there 3 games from Sony that did it this year? That's like besides The Last of Us and Beyond.
Puppeteer.
Last
Okay.
of Us, Beyond.
Well, actually, I guess my Trinity would be The Last of Us, Beyond, and Gran Turismo 6
Yep.
if it comes out this year.
It is coming out this year.
We'll see.
It has to. Actually, yeah, Gran Turismo 6 looks pretty crazy. Which I didn't really expect. I thought
I
it
didn't either.
was a polished version of Gran Turismo 5, but actually it looks pretty different. It looks a lot better. Like Gran Turismo 5 looks kind of crappy in comparison. So that would be pretty cool. Yeah.
For the PS4 version. Oh my gosh.
You know, I still think that might have been sort of a misinterpretation. Because, when they say we're working on a PS4 version, does that mean they're working on a PS4 version of Gran Turismo 6? Or are they working on a PS4 version of Gran Turismo? I don't think it matters to people. But, that's a big distinction to make. Because one is like,
one will take a lot longer than
it's just like, we're starting it.
I don't think it would be even that difficult for the transition to next gen because they're already making high polygon models that use the tessellation tech they're using. So it's like they don't really need to do any more work.
So, do you know what tessellation is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's pretty much it's just a level of detail system. Like the closer you get, the detail will increase as you're going in. But like usually, like when there's a car, like far away, it's like there's only a couple polygons. But like as you get closer, the polygon count gets increasingly bigger. So the more you zoom in, the more polygons are being rendered.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was. Like, yeah, level of detail 4 is you just swap textures, right? And this one is actually dynamically generating new triangles.
Yes.
So you can theoretically have like infinitely smooth curves, I guess.
Depending on like. There's always a limit on the hardware. Like PS3, it's limited.
Yeah.
So, let's say if it's one car, they could do, we could blast this with polygons. Like, just have it textured beautifully. But if there's 6 cars, they can only, divide them up evenly.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
I think it's better for, I think they're trying to look at, because photo mode, everything looks fucking amazing. Depending on the car.
Right.
But hopefully this time it's like, when you take shots of the wheel, it won't look like a polygon mess,
That is really cool. Yeah, so I guess that works as far as porting, because that's a next gen sort of graphics trick now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because the thing I was saying earlier, people aren't really showing gameplay, so I don't remember anything that I've seen. I've seen lots of trailers,
True.
both first party and third party, and so I remember the first party ones because that's what I wanted to see, and the third party ones, I saw those trailers earlier at the EA and Ubisoft stuff, and Batman was the only that was the only gameplay demo. I think that's the only one I can remember. It was just like, wow, that looks really cool. I wanted to see the Vita one. And I was like, nope, no one's doing it. It's like, what? Fine.
There's screenshots of it, and there's just like some stories about it, but
It's not the same.
Psh, I'll play it myself in October. Darn.
I wish there was a gameplay demo of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
I mean, they did show gameplay, but it's like it's spread up in the trailer.
That part was
No?
really funny. Where he was hiding on the side of the horse.
That was great.
I was just like,
It's like, how's that camouflage? No one's gonna not
a little
notice.
horse walking by.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's not like a normal thing, is it? Like, is that just something that happens to them? Like horses with
Where
saddles
did
on them.
lighter
just run
fluid
past?
come
Like,
from?
And plus, didn't the horse have like a saddle on it? So
Yeah,
it's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's a saddle.
how does no one
There
find
has
any
to be a
of this
person
strange?
somewhere.
It's like, oh, it's just a wild horse. Why does it have a saddle?
Like,
Come on, we're on
like-
patrol.
Like, did you ever notice that a lot of the wild horses just happen to have saddles in this place? It's weird. So I also noticed that we also get broken into a lot. Maybe there's some weird correlation going on there. We're
I mean,
smart.
the cardboard box thing was always kind of goofy, but it was goofy in a way that everyone understood. It's like, this is goofy because it's a cardboard box. The horse thing, it almost feels like they kind of thought about it. It's like, yeah, this might work. Except, yeah, there's still a horse going by.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how often do you just see a horse just run past you? You're like, oh, yep, just a horse.
I mean, imagine going through like security checkpoints like that. It's like, oh, there's only one guard tower on one side, so I'll just like lean on the horse, and they're just gonna sit in the checkpoint. It's like, horse just went by. It's like there was no driver.
It's like, that's the 4th time this week. Weird.
But the animation of the game is so fluid. It's amazing. I like it.
Looking good.
Yep.
It looked pretty.
So I guess we're done.
Yes, we can't think of anything.
I just have to watch the live streams.
There
See
are
what I could pick apart.
so many. Twitch, IGN, GameSpot.
Oh, I didn't even bother with it. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to Rev 3 games and what they show. I'll watch everything else, whatever. I'm sure I'll see it later before the game comes out or whatever. It's just too much right now. It's like, oh.
All right, so that's E3 up to day 2. I think day 3 is not going to be that eventful. I feel like it's going to be sort of following the same pattern. Not really seeing gameplay, and it does kind of die down by day 3. I think everyone's tired by Thursday.
Yeah. It's like it's the end of the conference. It's like, okay, it's time
I
for us
don't
to
know
head on anyway.
Like, sure, I'm not there, but how can you get tired from playing games? My God.
It could just be the atmosphere, the environment, because I mean, it is a lot of people, and
Yeah,
like,
it's loud and
Yeah, I was watching Rev 3 and like
Wait
every
in
time they're doing a
line a
video, there's just like booming music in the background.
oh,
they're trying to like do their show
was-
thing.
there's like a DJ at the Bethesda booth that was next to us, and like I was trying to talk to the people that were at the truck or whatever, and every time I start talking, like the music would get louder, and I'm like, seriously, seriously, guys. So it was like, yes, the noise level is kind of it is kind of ridiculous sometimes. So I just think like the environment itself, it's like after a few days, it's like it kind of wears on you, I guess, if you're like doing it every day, and it's like, okay, I'm kind of over this, guys. Let's go. Fry strangle somebody.
well, plus like you're supposed to be there to work. I mean, this is.
Yeah. there's that
I mean,
too.
not you. I just meant.
Yeah, I know, like, because they're like there to do
Yeah.
their articles and everything, so it's like it's not just like it's a
They-
fun vacation or anything. It's like
Oh.
yay, E3. It's like, oh, I
Typing
have
is
to turn it
so
on.
difficult.
Well, I mean, you still have to. It's
That's
not necessarily
about
just like. Yeah, just about to say it's like you're not. It's not like it's. There's a difference between playing a game for fun and playing a game for to write an article on it, because like now you have to think about the different facets of the game and what's important to write about and what's like important information. And then you're like forced to go into certain like conferences because you have to report news on these releases and on everything. So it's not the same as just being like you could just go in. It's like go ahead, play stuff, enjoy yourself. So it's like
And
deadline stuff.
personally, I get tired after E3 every year.
See?
Well, actually, this year I also had a strategy like going in of like I'm not really going to look at something if it's not something that I'm interested in. I'll just like skip over and be like, yeah, whatever.
Apparently, that's how you do it if you go to the actual one, because there's not enough time to see everything.
Yeah, from what I saw, the lines are like really long for some stuff.
Yeah,
So.
like hours in line. It's like worse than Disney.
And then if I hear someone gushing about it, I'll be like, oh, I'll check that out. And click on it and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I will be on break. Oh, dang, I can't, because The Last of Us comes out. Man, what's going to happen? Am I going to be alive on Monday?
No.
Usually, after E3, I'm just like, nope, I don't
You
care
don't have
about
to play
games
anything.
right now.
Yeah. Just relax.
And
Gaming
then,
detox.
a week later, then it's like, then I build my list. And it's like, these are all the games I want. And it'll be like 50 to 80 games.
That's what I haven't done yet. I have my list of games that I like, but I haven't made my list of what I'm going to get for my PS4.
Yeah,
so
you
I
don't
need to do that.
You don't necessarily need to play Last of Us immediately.
But then what would be the point of...
Are you crazy? Dang, man, that demo was too short.
I know, right?
Like, that's it?
It's like I freaking bought God of War for this bullshit. It didn't give me the human encounter part of it. It's like, give me that.
Yeah.
Like, give me Infected, give me that too. But you just gave me like
I
this.
didn't like that there was no payoff, too. Like, I found the place, or I think I found the place that you're supposed to go after the encounter, and I tried to move the thing, and then it was really loud, and I found out Infected could climb.
Supposedly, if you pause and you restart the segment after you kill everything, you get to play a bit more.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, can't wait. Man, Friday. People are getting...
Friday.
All these people are getting Street Broken copies. Like, oh my god, just release the fucking game. Like, just unleash it. Like,
That was a weird release date, though.
I know.
First place, so.
It should have been released this Tuesday. Yesterday. Yeah. Now, I will be playing it right now. It's like, give me a break, people. God. I've been waiting for this.
Maybe they didn't want to get in the way of E3.
I've been tempted to watch Twitch streams. Like, I just want to.
Don't do it, gamer.
No, they can't because they get shut down. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, that is our E3 stuff for this year. A little bit sparse. Times have changed.
Yeah.
But it was. I guess, like, overall, I'm actually kind of disappointed by this E3. I think that maybe the anticipation was too high. I really expected, easier architecture, we should see lots of playable stuff. And not being at the show, I'm not seeing any playable stuff.
Yeah.
No, because you think it's a launch year. There should be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just should be an amazing E3.
Yeah.
And
But
it says
it's-
a lot of cross-gen stuff, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot
And
of
2014 makes sense. 2014 games, like, they show that, yeah, okay. But it's like a lot of cross-gen stuff, it's like, eh. Oh, and I want to bring this up. That was hilarious when Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut is now being released on other systems, so... Wii U, cry. Looks like I'm not getting that version anymore.
Poor system.
They try so hard.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, it's been kind of disappointing. And now I just, like, I guess in one ways it succeeds because E3 is the hype machine. And now I really want to play that stuff because you didn't show it to me. So now I got to do it myself.
Maybe that was their plan all along.
So year end will be really cool. E3, there was some highlights, but it wasn't... Being at home was like, show me what I want to see. And then, no.
I'm going to completely disagree with Tropical. I'm not gonna say I was blown away, but this was not like terrible either. Like it made me feel like I could believe again because after seeing Mirror's 2, which was one of my wishes, I was like, please, I didn't even think it was gonna happen. It did, and then that was like freaking Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, which are like that's not my game. That's RPG game. He's always saying, oh, it doesn't do this, doesn't do this. Like, haha, RPG.
Yeah, 'cause I think it was on my wish
going
list
down.
too as well, which is funny. So.
Jeez, was Batman that good for you? Damn.
It wasn't that. It was like I was just cautiously optimistic, and then like after just seeing it, it's like okay, they did like keep a lot of the stuff that's at the core of it the same. So it's like okay, I have that to look forward to, and then PS4, I am so on the train, and I cannot wait to board it on the station and ride it into Happyville.
Happyville sounds like a nice place.
And then next E3, identify
Oh,
Getaway
God.
3.
Let it go, Tekken.
It is
Let it
Last
go.
Guardian. It's going to happen.
Cheers.
Believe.
It's getting ridiculous at this point. Still,
Like no Star Fox, no Cell for Wii U, but I got me my PS4, and that's all that matters.
Speaking of which, the bodysuit is being kickstarted.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's happening.
Now we just need the Wii cage.
It's gonna happen. Just give it time.
In Destiny, I know I'm gonna just like pump so many hours into that game. So
Yes,
Do we have any idea when it's coming out?
They said 2014. That's about as close as you got to a release date. So,
That's disappointing.
I heard it was spring, actually.
really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I can wait 12 months.
That's true. I have other stuff to play.
I was just about to say there'll be plenty of stuff in the meantime, so it'll be all right.
And after seeing the watch or the what's it called? I always call it the thingy. I keep forgetting the name. The Division.
Yeah.
It gives me hope for whatever the next Mass Effect multiplayer thing will be with like a whole squad on like a moon or something, and like your fire team, and you're going out to like take down the bad guys or something. I don't care. Just make it happen, BioWare. Just that game with like that same style. Just the multiplayer with it though. Just like keep the single player the same. But multiplayer should be like that.
But to be honest, it's gonna be crazy because I remember, as you've said, Trevor, like this year was alright, but man, next year that is gonna be nuts with like Naughty Dog maybe hopefully showing their stuff.
That's true.
Sony Santa Monica showing their new stuff. Oh my god.
The other 12 studios showing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be crazy next year.
It will be.
Because now they would have already launched the console, so now it's like, well, it's out there, so here's all the
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, if they got, if there are total 35 first-party titles coming out just from Xbox, Microsoft, and Sony in the next year, like, what is next E3 gonna look like? That's gonna be insane.
Be bananas.
So I guess we'll sign off now, unless anybody else has anything to gush about if they thought it was terrible or whatever.
Nah.
I didn't think it was terrible, for the record.
You said terrible, Chapter Cole.
I was
He
disappointed.
said disappointed.
Oh,
Didn't say it was-
my bad. My bad. Sorry. I'm just so pumped right now. I don't know. It's just
Oh, no.
I stepped in the way of the hype beam. And I was like headed towards Tropical, and now it's just like all in
It's
me.
in your way. Yeah.
It's all in me, and I'm like, oh.
Tropical, no!
Push it out the way. So you can't do it now. You're supposed to be a responsible parent. I'll take it for you. Ah!
Oh boy.
I believe again. Yes.
I kind of agree with Tropical though. It was kind of so there were some good things, but yeah, overall, because I mean, when you think about it, the conferences weren't that great, especially 2 of the 3 of them were kind of just. So it's like
I randomly hit one person.
So it's like
It's a Ray.
So yeah, but don't worry, we have stuff to look forward to, and yay games.
Alright, so Aimless Podcast. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. And I was gonna sing us out this episode because it's like all E3 special, but I'll just go with the flow. Come with me
Oh boy.
to E3 and a world of pure imagination. Where will we see
Not sure how I feel about this.
gaming's next generation?
I just, yeah.
Xbox One.
Wow, and he's still going. I didn't know there were verses.
And they're done, 'cause PS4 so awesome. Wii U, I like you, but I'm not buying one. Okay, I'm out of words. Somebody else has got to chip in.
No.
Okay.
The hell.
All right, well that works. So yeah, till you see you hear from us again in this podcast. I hope you like that. I mean, that was
Unless
totally.
you just scared off all our listeners forever now. So
Was that based on Willy Wonka?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. You're all welcome.
We're not saying.
Just another quiet day.